It's time for Twit This Week in Tech. Ooh, it's going to be a wild one. I always know it will be when Georgia Zhao joins Owen JJ Stone and the return of Roberto Baldwin from Car and Driver. There is a lot to talk about. We go crazy. Among other things, the Twitter hacker, he's going to jail. That Apple event coming up this Tuesday, turns out it was a sting all along and the ugliest grill you've ever seen. It's all coming up next on Twit.
Podcasts you love.
From people you trust.
This is Twit.
This is Twit, This Week in Tech, episode 815, recorded Sunday, March 21st, 2021. Never go to the second location. This Week in Tech is brought to you by Uber for Business. Right now, for a limited time, receive a $50 voucher when you create your first vouchers campaign and spend $200. Go to uber.com/twit to learn more. And by Worldwide Technology and Dell Technologies. WWT's Advanced Technology Center is a virtual testing and research lab with the best engineers in the industry. WWT's ATC provides customers unbiased results so they know they're making the right technology decisions for their organization. To learn more and see what they can do for you, go to wwt.com/twit. And by Stamps.com. Stamps.com allows businesses to do all their mailing and shipping right from their computer. No need to leave your home or office or home office. For a 4-week trial plus free postage and a digital scale without any long-term commitment, go to Stamps.com, click on the microphone at the top of the homepage, and enter the code TWIT. And by ExtraHop. When cyber criminals get past your business's defenses, you need a plan for detection and response. Learn more about ExtraHop and how they stop breaches 84% faster, and explore the interactive demo, too, at extrahop.com/twit. It's time for Twit This Week in Tech, the show where we cover the week's tech news. We're already an hour into the show. Where have you been? We're having such a good time because it's been 3.5 years since we've seen this cat, and I'm so thrilled to have Roberto Baldwin back on.
3.5 years?
Yes. Since
Time
July
makes no
2017.
sense.
I don't understand it.
I don't understand.
So
time.
since last we talked, Roberto, where were you working when you used to be on? Was it Engadget?
I was at Engadget, and I was covering automotive and musical instruments. So I did a lot of synths and drum machines and keyboards and the occasional guitar.
Before that, you were at TMZ. And
way before that. No, not like there's like
I want to hear all the best smut.
I know.
I want all the best smut.
I know. He knows Harvey. He's worked with Harvey.
Oh, I want to know. I want to know the stories. This should be on the show.
So TMZ.
Let's TMZ.
Anyway, he's done other things. After Engadget, what did you do?
I went to Car and Driver, the
nice.
Bible of the automotive world. So I went there. I was Car and Driver for about 14 months. And just last Wednesday, I decided to, I decided, a month or so ago. But last Wednesday was my last day at Car and Driver.
What?
I know. Who leaves Car and Driver? What idiot does that? This guy, because I wanted to do a little bit more tech, cover automotive in a different way, and also do a lot more videos. I was
nice.
I really enjoyed doing videos when I was in Engadget, and
they were fools. If you went to them and said, "Hey, we ought to do more videos," they are sitting in the 1950s or something, because these days that's the thing to do. So
no one can walk around a car and say horsepower, pricing.
What are
ADAS.
wait a minute?
Can't.
That's not yes. Some of the biggest videos on YouTube, and I know because I watch a lot of them, are about cars. They're huge.
They are. It's amazing. The car videos, especially the ones where the person just walks around the car
it's very simple.
with their phone. They're getting a million hits. They're like, this is how the glove compartment opens.
Yeah. Because if you're in the I know, because I watched every Mach-E video there was waiting for my Mach-E because it was a long wait.
I think there's a hunger for that information that you can't get, especially now because going into a showroom might be a little, and you want to get in and out and on with your life. But if you go online, you can see everything about that car because someone takes the time to share the intricacies of that vehicle.
Right. No knock on Car and Driver, but really they missed a bet there. They should have had Roberto become their video guy. But now you could do it yourself, and that's really always the best. Anyway, it's great to see you back. Welcome.
Thanks for having me back.
Yeah, yeah. Also with us, it's the dynamic duo. I don't know why, but we always put them together. Owen JJ Stone. Oh, doctor, great to see you. Look at you in your beautiful studio. This is your new place.
It is my new place. And just quick, I tried to do the show. First time using Zoom ever. I did it for you. I tried to do it on my new M1.
Oh, your Mac Mini.
No, I've had it since it first came out. This is the third time I've turned it on. But I tried to do it today for Ant, for hands-on photography. And in honor of him, my background has the holy trinity of RF lenses.
Look at that. Look at
DJI
that.
Ronin S2 and my Canon R5 over there.
Oh.
But I tried to use it for you, and because he yells at me because I have too much technology that I don't use, and he feels as though I'm wasting it. But I tried. But Zoom came up with some little pop-up and said, "You are not M1 compliant. Would you like to download M1 something?" And I kept freezing and dying, and now I got jetpacks going with my Threadripper.
You're on your Threadripper, which means you've got 18 fans to go with your 18 cores. Blowing.
But the Mini was going to be so quiet. I was trying to plan for success.
That's all right. You look good.
Tried.
You look good. What's the video card in there?
It's one of those 360.
One of those. Is it NVIDIA or AMD? Let's start with the
NVIDIA.
Okay,
NVIDIA.
Good. It's like a 3060, 3080, something like that.
It's the reason why I can't go back to this M1 thing. The flow of what I'm used to doing is just different. I'm trying so hard to make myself use it because I spent money on it. I should be using it, but nothing works on it, so I've got to go back to using Apple stuff. And I'm trying to get off crack.
I sent you my Osmo. You send me your Mini. It all works fine.
You can have it.
No, I don't want it. I don't want
used.
In fact, well, I'll tell you a story in a second, but I have to introduce the other half of the dynamic duo who's never going to get a word in edgewise between Roberto and Owen JJ Stone. Well, maybe not, because Georgia Dow is the Galadriel of psychotherapists. Hello, Georgia.
Hello.
Good to see you. YouTube.com/Georgia Dow. Brand new channel. Congratulations.
I know. So stressful.
You're becoming a YouTube sensation because you started with doing that show with Renee Ritchie, Apple Talk, and now you've got
Talk, yeah.
Georgia Dow, Psychology, Technology, Life. Wow. That's a lot.
Yeah, slowly but surely. I'm trying. It is the weirdest thing. Building up a channel from nothing is the weirdest. And Renee, who's like a YouTube guru, he's like, do this, do that. And I'm like, I'm just going to I'm just happy I have a channel and I'm going to produce videos and then hopefully people will watch them.
Well, we're going to get some more people watching them. I can guarantee you.
Thank you.
That's great. Everybody wants to be a YouTube star these days. It's the wave of the future.
Well, I figured, what are we doing right now? We might as well do this. I have all this extra time. If I'm going to do it at any point.
That's a good point. I guess that's why, right?
Might as well do it now.
Pandemic video.
One is I can't reach that many people. I'm seeing people on days off and trying. So I'm like, well, this could kind of help. So
good.
Hopefully.
We'll talk.
Let me tell you my YouTube story real quick, Uncle Leo.
Yes, sir.
So back in the day, you remember a long time ago when I first hung out with you, I was doing YouTube. I had 10,000 subscribers. I was getting my little $600 a month from YouTube. Life was good. And then one day, my YouTube locked me out when they switched from having a username to you had to have a Google account. And for some reason, I could not get into it. I tried to contact people for years. I could never get back into this account. And so it just disheartened me on the whole thing because I got money racking up in a place that I can't get because they suspended it because I couldn't log in to verify stuff. Long story short, 10 years later, I'm at a client's house a month ago, and I log into YouTube to show them how to do things. I log in, I'm like, why is my logo for your profile picture?
Why does it have dollar signs on it?
He's like, why did you? He's like, I thought you just put it there to remind me that was you. I log in, and it attached my YouTube brand account to his email.
Oh my God.
He's been looking at my thing for 10 years and never thought to say anything. So I finally got my original YouTube account back. I'm down to 3,000 subscribers, but like Georgia said,
it's bizarre.
Than starting from scratch. Because I finally started over again. I'm like, man, it's so much work starting over.
Yeah.
But that channel has millions of views on it. And I'm like, I finally get it back. So I think I'm going to switch back over to the old account.
What is it?
So,
YouTube.com/
It's Dr. 79. Don't go to it because this old videos of me ranting and raving. I got to put new stuff up there. But
now we got to take a look. Now we're gonna all go take a look. When you say don't go, we all go.
Oh, watch this. Look, don't play it on air at all, Uncle Leo. But click videos and scroll all the way down to the first video.
Owen JJ Stone's very first. Holy cow! Look at all these. You're right. You don't want to give these up. These are too good.
No.
What is AskGoDoctor.com? That one?
That guy is doing a Tony Soprano's impression. Watch it when you get home or later on tonight. I paid that guy. I was doing ads and memes before people were doing memes. That video was 12 years old.
12 years ago.
Unserviced with only 1,400 views. I got videos with 500,000 views. That's unserviced. That guy does a great Tony Soprano impression.
I'll tell you how old this is. He's got a review of the movie Bottle Shock on it.
I went out there for the movie premiere there. They flew me out to California. Wow. I got to drink with the actors and drink some wine. The only time I ever drank wine. It was a great trip.
I did a reaction video to Tony Soprano on his going to see his therapist.
Oh, yeah.
That's him, the therapist. The guy actually plays the female therapist while he's being
perfect.
Dr. Melfi. Dr. Melfi. That was actually a big deal when Tony Soprano, when The Sopranos came out, because
made a huge difference.
He was a made man talking to a shrink, and she was good. It was good. Yeah. Those were some of the best dialogues in that show. That was a great part of it.
Great show.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for joining us, everybody. I'm exhausted. I don't know.
This was just the introduction. We have only gotten to the introduction, and we have now been speaking for an hour.
I've subscribed. I've liked. I'm good to go. It's nice seeing you all.
Subscribe and like.
Bye.
We're done.
Hi, guys. We're done.
We're done.
Would you ever do this? Twitch is, of course, probably as popular these days with the young people as YouTube, and certainly people are making a lot of money on Twitch. Do you know what a subathon is? Have you heard about this?
Yes.
Yeah, you guys do because you're with it. The idea is it's a marathon, but instead of asking for money for a charity, as you might on a telethon, you are asking for subscribers. So Ludwig Ahgren, who is already probably pretty successful on the Twitch, did something kind of dumb and made it to the New York Times, which means it's really dumb. He said, I will extend my subathon for 10 seconds for every new subscriber I get. Do the math, Ludwig. You're never, ever going to get to stop.
But how many subscribers did he get?
I'm sure. I don't know. We should check out his. He's done 70 hours. Now, he still sleeps, eats, showers. He wears shorts.
But it's now all on
all on Twitch. He says the weirdest thing is every time I wake up, it feels like it gets bigger and bigger. Last night I went to bed with 30,000 viewers and 60,000 subs. I woke up and I was at 70,000 viewers and 70,000 subs. And do the math, because that's 10,000 new subscribers times 10 seconds. He's never going to get to stop. He's going to have to break his promise at some point.
No, just keep going.
Really?
Yeah,
just keep
the
going.
Truman Show. We got the Truman Show. I Just Steam back in the day.
He reinvented. That's how Twitch started, right? Justin.tv became Twitch. That's how it started, live streaming.
What was the girl who, like the first, like who sort of shared everything in her life back in like the late 90s, 2000s?
Well before Justine, yeah.
Oh, I can't remember her name. I feel that because I'm old and my brain.
And nothing exciting ever happened. Although there was a little bit of kind of semi-nudity and stuff. Oh yeah, first live streamer. Let's see if Google remembers. Google never forgets. The first person to do life casting. Yeah, I think this is it. Let's see here. There's a lot of it. This goes back to Yale University in the 70s or something.
That's not it.
No. There's a woman. I know who you're talking about, and they don't mention her. I don't think.
Somebody said Lonely Girl. I thought Lonely Girl was like
that was fake.
That was like a skit. Yeah, that was like
yeah.
Yeah.
That was the first time we realized that the internet lies.
Then there was Steve. Then there was Steve Mann. This guy.
Jenny Cam.
Jenny Cam. That's the one he was thinking of. Jenny Cam. Very good. Do you remember Steve Mann? This is the guy from MIT. He was the first live streamer. Would you date this guy?
Oh, yeah. Someone he has. I mean, everyone has somebody.
I mean, we're laughing, but he's just in the future. Like, people are trying to put Google Glass on their head and stuff now. I mean, he invented it.
practically. Yeah.
Right?
Jennifer Ringley's Jenny Cam. This is what you remember, Roberto, from your teen years, 1996 through 2004. She did it for 8 years.
Wow. See, this guy can hang out for 8 years at least, because interest is going to wane, and eventually he'll be able to stop and, do whatever he does in his off time when he isn't on camera.
I don't know. People have really long memories. I don't know. Especially when you say you're going to do it and then they've subscribed to you, so you do it. Now they feel they have ownership over you. I don't know.
It's just 10 seconds. So eventually he'll run out of time. It'll be a while. It might, he might miss, like family weddings and, doctor's appointments. And,
right. How many people want to date someone not knowing that their entire life is going to be on camera?
His girlfriend is one of his roommates, and he has other roommates too. So she's already probably accepted this on camera thing.
I'm watching him, and I guess he's still doing it, but he's doing others. Oh no, there he is in the corner. He's showing
countdown.
Look at it. Look at the viewers and the subscribers. I mean, it's incredible.
Yeah,
it's incredible.
He plays games.
He's okay about it.
I think that breaks. He's like
he does other stuff. He does cooking. He's got roommate. Yeah, he does other stuff. He's got 1.9 million followers now, so it must be working.
I think he's okay.
9 million.
He might be doing
1.9 million followers. All right, here we go. Let's get some Wolfram Alpha out.
Are you going to do some math?
Did you do the math for us?
Yep.
Times 10
what
seconds.
What does that equal?
Times 10 seconds. Delete.
Well, followers are subscribers. We need the number of subscribers. How many people subscribe?
What's the difference? Is there a difference?
And they have to be the new
There
subscribers.
Subscribers pay. Followers are just free. I need the number of subscribers.
Oh, I didn't know this was a money deal.
Oh, yes, it's a money. Ain't nothing free, Uncle Leo.
Nothing's free.
So you're saying if you subscribe, you pay some money.
And you get 10 seconds. Your subscription buys
it's $5 a month. But I wonder where it says how many maybe it doesn't say how many subscribers he has.
It should be right underneath this thing. The red ticker, the red number that's ticking up should be the subscribers.
That's 63,000.
Okay, 63,000.
That's amazing.
I feel bad for kicking your seat on purpose.
We should have just told you it's a boy.
I wish you didn't have to hear all that. I promise I will not eat anymore.
What am I hearing? I've launched some videos somewhere that I can't stop. It's coming from inside the house, so I don't know. It's maybe this is.
That's only 175 hours.
No,
it's like a week. At 63,000 times 10 seconds.
Well, we're going to make him do it forever now, so.
Yeah, it's only a week.
Enjoy the new subs.
Everyone go follow this guy. Unfollow, refollow. Just like mess with him. He's like, can I stop? No, I can't. Like,
mess up the algorithm.
Yeah. Oh, I got the ad because I'm not subscribed. That's why. That's what I was hearing. Even though I have him muted because I didn't want to hear it, you still hear the ad even though.
Still hear the ad.
So for him being live for a week of his life, for 8 days of his life, he made $300,000 minus their subscription charge. I mean, minus Amazon's charge fee. So he made almost like $250,000.
Well, basically, he's making $5 per 10 seconds. So that means he's making $30 a minute
per month. Yeah. So
but every subscriber has to pay $5 up front, right? I mean, yeah. So he's already. I mean, that's good money. I'd take it.
Yeah. So that's about 100.
You already do that, Leo.
A little bit more. That's about a month's worth of work if you work 5 days a week, 9 hours a day. Yeah. So in a month of work, which really 7.5 days, 8 days of whatever, he's made a lot of money, more than I have. And now I'm wondering maybe I should pivot my life.
You got to think if you're Jenny, you're going, what the hell? I could have made some money on this. By the way, Jenny, get ready. Jenny is 44 now.
Oh, wow.
So, time flies. All right. That was our first story. I don't know what else to do after that.
Talk about another subscription thing real quick then?
Yes. What?
Talk about Twitter subscriptions.
Yeah. Would you pay? Twitter's going back and forth, among other things. They haven't decided how they're going to make money. That's really the problem. When they grow up, what are they going to do? Now they're saying maybe, and this was somebody discovered this. This isn't something Twitter said. What if we let you undo tweets if you paid? Would you pay to have an undoable tweet?
Oh, it gives you like a little bit of time before it goes live. Is that what it is?
Yeah, we've known about this for a while. We've seen this progress bar. Here, this is from a researcher, Jane Manchun Wong. Here's the progress bar. So you see, you can undo it for that period of time. That seems kind of odd because, I mean, it's kind of like Gmail does, right? It just doesn't post the tweet for that period of time. That's not a lot.
But usually, it's not that much time before you figure out you did something that you shouldn't have done.
Okay, I just
know.
have a tip for you. Keep your finger off the mouse button until you're sure you got the right tweet.
Who does that?
Yeah,
No one
let's
does.
just say it. Some people shouldn't be tweeting. Some people should have their phones taken away from them. And just don't. If you're feeling upset, these are the rules. It's like dealing with a dangerous animal. You don't tweet, you don't talk, you don't call, you don't write. If you're feeling angry, upset, frustrated, or sad, if you're drinking, just stay away from technology.
So in this case, you're the dangerous animal that you're trying to stay away from.
Yes. Yes, it's your limbic system. It's your primal part of your brain. It's going to send something.
Yeah.
Something horrific.
Yeah.
Right?
Georgia, you know that I love you. That last statement you just said, as someone who makes a statement who is a happy and healthy relationship, the fact that you think that someone can think and focus, you know how many drunk people have been upset and went back to their ex? And you think people can do that? I don't think so, Drew. You've been happy.
Is drunk tweeting better or worse than drunk dialing?
It's going to work for anybody.
It is worse because it's there.
It lives forever.
No, it's there forever.
It lives forever.
Don't do it because we're not trained from young. Let's say it. Because we used to be able to call someone up on the phone, blah, 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 and then they'll forget. But you tweet it out, it is there, stamped forever. That will haunt you 20 years from now.
So here's a perfect example.
Don't do it.
Alexi McCammond. She had just been nominated to be the editor-in-chief of Teen Vogue. Really prime job, right? She's a young woman, African-American. She had tweeted as a teenager, she had tweeted a couple of things interpreted as racist, for which, by the way, she'd apologized already. But when this came up, somebody brought it up, she resigned. She said, all right, I'm going to voluntarily leave because it would be difficult for Condé Nast and the folks at Teen Vogue. I'll read you the tweets. I mean, there's certainly not anything to be proud of, but remember, she did this as a teenager, right?
I've done a lot of stupid stuff when I was a teenager. Lots of dumb stuff.
She's in high school. Let me see if I can find it. She's in high school, and in one case, let me see if I can find him, because
the worst part is that, like, if she had committed a crime, it would be wiped, right?
Right.
But we don't have any rules for that. For like, thank God I didn't have, like, you know, the internet, and I was like not live streaming my life. Like, it would be horrific. I would be mortified. So I don't know. I think that we have a right to be forgotten. And I especially think that for people that are under the age, before your brain is fully cooked, which is like 24, like your prefrontal cortex is the part that deals with consequences to actions, is not fully developed until about 24. So we're going to do all kinds of horrific things. And let's just say it, with hormones, we become a little bit less intelligent when we're going through our teen years.
Oh, yeah.
And it's out there forever.
I was a complete idiot when I was a teenager. Just I think back about things I thought was a good idea at the time. Like, oh, I'll just do this and that'll be fine. And then I think back and I'm like, who thinks that's a good idea? Why? What's wrong with mine?
Here's the three tweets. And remember, now she's in high school. Gave me a 2 out of 10 on my chem problem. Cross out all my work and don't explain what I did wrong. Thanks a lot, stupid Asian TA. And then she says, outdone by Asian. Now Googling how not to wake up with swollen Asian eyes. Okay, they're racist.
Oh, yeah, those are.
They're racist, especially now we're very sensitive about racism against Asian Americans. Mm-hmm. However, it was 10 years ago. She was in high school, obviously. I don't know. What is the statute of limitations on tweets? I guess it's
I think
forever.
There's a Beastie Boys documentary that's on Apple TV Plus, whatever they're calling it now. And they talk to one of the guys and they say, you know, you used to be these hard, you know, it was all about partying and you had the song Girls and whatever. And now you're doing this other thing. And he said, he's like, well, you know, I'd rather grow as a person than just sort of be stuck, you know, just in amber as this like, you know, loud, obnoxious party person. And I think people, they grow 10 years from when, you know, from when I was 18 till I was 21, there's this huge growth. And you know, it doesn't, those tweets are horrible and you know, she should be ashamed of them. But
she apologized 2 years ago before this job. She deleted the tweets. This is a tough one.
It's just tough when it's tough because you're a teenager. Like if she was 21 and she had done that, I'm like, well, no. But you're such an idiot when you're a teenager. It's tough to, and that's where, you know, education doesn't teach you. You know, when I was in school, they didn't teach us about finance. So we all screwed up on that. And now they're not really teaching, other than bullying. I don't think they really teach kids about what happens with social media, because their parents might not get it because they're like, well, I'm not going to use Facebook or I'm not using Twitter. So they're not getting the information from school. They're not getting it from their parents. And so they're just like, oh, I just put this thing out there. Twitter isn't real, which is, you know, this thing that people have been saying forever, which is untrue. And then it comes back to haunt them.
Owen, what do you think?
So everybody knows, I talk about it a million times. I have a teenager. There have been kids at her school that have gone on Instagram, Snapchat, and said vulgar things about black kids, Asian kids. And next thing you know, they're getting threatened by other kids to get beat up. You know, they get suspended from school. Bad things happen. The only line I draw between that kind of language is, you know, comedians saying stuff because they're trying to be funny and hyperbolic, and regular people, because even as a kid, not for nothing, she's black, right? I think she's black.
Yeah, she's black.
So she should know better growing up in a household about racism and how cruel it is to make fun of people. Telling me how old she is does not matter to me. If she's old enough to have a phone and a device and make comments, then she, as an African-American woman, should definitely know not to talk about somebody else's race. So I don't have a sympathy for the 12, 15, whatever, because I have a teenage daughter, and Lord knows we talk about a lot of stuff, and maybe I'm raising my kid a little bit better, but there's a difference between, you know, your ideology and what you think. And just because you thought that at 10 doesn't mean you're not going to think that at 20. I believe that racism kind of carries on. That's why we got to wait for it to age out, because racism back in the 70s hasn't just changed his mind in the last 10 years because the rest of the world's woke. He grew up with it. He stayed with it, and it hasn't changed. Now you get caught and you apologize because you want to keep a cushy job, but I'm not just going to expel the fact that you as a black woman were making fun of another person because of their race. I'm just out on that. I mean, if she's got to change her name, whatever she's got to do, cool.
Well, she'll be. This is gonna haunt her the rest of her life. Does it change anything, Owen, that she has to give up her opportunity to be a black editor-in-chief of Teen Vogue?
I believe in redemption. I believe in forgiveness, and whatever past she has to do.
She apologized. She says there's no excuse. I am so sorry.
And hopefully she makes a way in her life to make a change in that. But she's also choosing a career where she's in the public eye. She's working for other companies and businesses that have to have relationships with other people. So that's a problem for her. I understand that people make mistakes. I understand that people can change and they should have an opportunity to change. But at the same time, I'm not going to cry for her because she lost her opportunity because of a mistake that she made when she was a child, which again, in her specific circumstance, she should know better. Yeah. Again, that's just me, and it's a different form of opinion, but hopefully she finds another way in life. There's other jobs in the world. She go and have a very successful, happy, healthy life. Maybe she changed her name. Maybe she moves to Europe. I don't know what she does, but I'm not boo-hooing for her.
Is it the parents' fault, maybe, Georgia?
Usually it's a whole bunch of reasons. I mean, it's not just the parents. It's also the culture that you've grown up in, right? Like there's just so many pieces to this. It's really messy. But the thing is that if she had robbed a bank, it would have been expunged, right? If at this age she had done some sort of a crime, we would not know about it. And she would have been absolved from this.
That's because the legal system understands that things you do as a teenager shouldn't haunt you for life.
But now it is, right? Social media has created a format where, everything is going to follow you. And let's just say it, like, if everything that I ever said was like taped and sent out, and all the stupid things that I've done were taped and sent out to the world, none of us would be able to do anything, right? Like, we all make mistakes. We all do stupid things. And I just think that we can sometimes grab our pitchforks and torches so quickly and come out to kind of scorch the earth, and everyone has to be perfect. And I think that if people have made okay, I'm a therapist. So if you've made conscious actions to change and be a better person and try to do better, I think that we should be judging people on who they are today, not who they were a decade ago. And I think that that makes a huge difference. If not, we're stuck being painted in a platform that we are no longer that person. And I don't think that that is fair either.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think my bottom line is Twitter never did anything good for anybody. Get off the Twitter. Get off the Twitter.
I got my jobs. I've gotten jobs because of Twitter.
Oh, you have? All right, I take it back.
Yes, I think I went from Mac Live to Gizmodo and to Wired
because you wrote good tweets.
No, because people knew me more so, and then you interact with I interact with other journalists.
Oh, that's a good point.
And so that sort of helped me,
I still know people by their Twitter.
But I'm
horrible
at Twitter.
Yeah.
My tweets are just ridiculous.
It's such a recipe for getting in trouble. That's just all. I mean, it's just.
That's the thing with social media, right? It can really only be used against you. Like, sometimes it's beneficial, but
nobody brings up
that's where
all
it goes
the great tweets I said years ago. Nobody brings those up.
Yeah. No, it's unfortunate that we're very reactive right now, and I think that that's good in some parts and bad in some other parts.
I've always said, and I can't take credit. Somebody said this, and I just remembered it. That the problem with Twitter is it feels like it's hanging out around the water cooler where you say stuff and it disappears, but in fact. It's a mismatch because, in fact, it lasts forever, as we can see. And so even though you feel like it's just offhand comments, they're far from it. It's like something you wrote in a book and published and put in a library so that anybody can find it forever. So that's the problem.
What did Roberto say in 2012? Hold on.
Let's see what we can find against him. I bet there's something.
And also,
they're just bad jokes. That's my and pictures
just
of cats.
In general. I've said outlandish things on many a show, podcast, tweet, whatever. And I usually say it's a FYIA thing, F you in advance, because I know I'm going to say something outlandish. And I don't mean it. Whenever I know I'm going to talk crazy, I always say this is an FYIA podcast, this is an FYIA tweet, just so people know, so they can go back and look what FYIA means. But with my daughter, she's had a phone since she was 5 years old. And basically, again, because I take the time, and like you said earlier, a lot of parents don't know better, but I progressed her along the lines of, this is how you do this is how you do that. And I slowly weaned her on to different things. Here, you got to post on Instagram every day so I can show her what to do, how to do it. And Twitter. Now she's on Twitter going crazy, but she has the benefit of me guiding her along as opposed to some of her friends, and these kids are just saying stuff, and I'm like, yo, you plan on getting a job? Like, I can say whatever I want. I work for myself. If I want to not work tomorrow, I can go do whatever I want.
You could get a face tattoo, and you'd be just as employable as ever.
Yeah, exactly. So, but you got to know where you're at, and a lot of athletes have to deal with this. Getting drafted at certain times.
Tough. Very tough.
I feel bad for the white kid that's just singing rap songs. Like, he grew up with athletes. They're rapping songs. He didn't mean it that way. And I can read his text and know he didn't mean it that way.
Right.
But since he used the word, everybody just goes, oh, well, see, So people don't even take context in anymore. So it is very rough and hard to figure out. But I mean, the parents got to do better. The kids got to do better. That's what
it's hard with media literacy, right? Like, that's the thing, is that media literacy is not taught. Like, Renee and I were hired to do a talk to actually, for one of the states, for all of the, leaders in the state to be able to talk about media savvy and how it works, and, what are all the tricks that kind of comes out of trying to divide us and make us into different tribes, and why, how they want to try to make us feel emotional, make us feel angry so that we don't leave. Which I thought was really awesome, because they cared enough to be able to teach all of the leaders that are in the state in order to help them keep their constituents as media savvy as possible. But this isn't a class, right? Like, we're not taught this. So a lot of parents have no clue. They don't even know their kids are on social media. They don't know anything about it. and they're not taught in the schools, right? We go back to not learning finance, not learning, mental health issues. Like, I'm sorry, we can Google geography very efficiently, but this kind of stuff could change your life.
Part of the problem also is we don't have any experience with a weapon like social media. It's nothing like anything we've seen before. And so you can say teach media literacy, but who's going to teach it? Because no one is like, oh, I've been doing this. I know exactly. I've been doing this my whole life. I mean, everybody's making mistakes because this is all brand new. One of the things I did note that it's really interesting, since President Trump was banned off Twitter, it really turns out, in hindsight, that was his platform. He still has plenty of ways to talk to people, but it's surprisingly quiet from Mar-a-Lago because he doesn't have a platform. So you really have to say, in the last 4 years, Twitter might bear some responsibility for some of the heightened invective because it gave him a platform. Now, interestingly, Trump announced, or a Trump spokesperson announced today on Fox that President Trump is going to create his own social media platform. His spokesman said that will completely redefine the game and attract tens of millions of new users. Looking at the success of Parler, I could see that perhaps, is it going to be called Trumper? I don't know. What is it? What is he going to call it? I don't know. What will it look like?
I think even people who use Twitter all the time, they still will quote tweet people they're angry with, people who have tweeted and you're
amplifying them. You're amplifying
that. You're amplifying that message. And I mean, these are people who use Twitter all the time. They know better, but we can't. I think people, we just can't help ourselves. I'm just angry and just like George was saying, don't tweet angry.
Yeah. No, it shuts down your brain. Like, really, physically, what happens inside of the brain when you're really upset is we go into fight or flight. We do not know the difference between an emotional attack and a physical attack. So when someone says something that's against my ideology, who I believe I am as a person, or something that I believe in, it's like I was attacked. And so what happens is the brain goes into fight or flight, sends an adrenaline, and shuts off the working memory. That bumpy part of your brain you're so proud of, gone. You're like a 3-year-old in a candy shop, and that's it. So it feels good. You want to get at them, but there's no getting at them. There's just stages of loss.
Fortunately, I'm a coward, so I never fight. I just run away. I'm not on Twitter anymore. I don't want to have anything to do with it because I know that I'll get, and I have gotten in trouble. I've gotten in fights with people that I really didn't want to get in fights with, all because of exactly that. I got angry, and the brain turned off, and I said something that I now regret. Horrible. But what are you going to do?
And then it becomes really hard to apologize.
Well, worse, because everybody else on Twitter jumps on it. Yeah. So Dvorak, this is the one that comes to mind. Dvorak said something I considered insulting, so I fired back. And then I apologized. I'm sorry, John. I love you. I didn't mean to say that. We're like brothers, et cetera, et cetera. Too late, because everybody jumped on it and loved it and amplified it, and it was over. And so John and I still hate each other's guts. So, no, I'm just kidding.
Is that true?
No, but it definitely damaged.
I was about to go into a therapeutic intervention.
No, it damaged our relationship, but that's okay.
It's not okay. It's too bad.
The house has patches on it now. It's not burnt down completely anymore.
That's right.
It's got patches.
No, it's got patches. Yeah.
Two things. Yeah. One, for anybody who gets canceled on the internet, they can at least tell their mom and dad, hey, I can still be president. That's first.
That's true. In fact, it's qualifying factor. Yes.
Yeah. And secondly, just because we're doing the Twitch show, can we talk about the subscription platform on Twitter? Like,
you did start that.
That's why you brought it up in the first place, didn't you?
All right, tell you what, let's take a break, and when we come back, Owen gets to talk about the subscription
platform. Owen keeps the show
platform.
on the rails.
No, that's really it's the main reason we have him on. And that's the main reason we have him on with you, Georgia, because you two, it's so fun to watch. The clown car go off the rails, on the rails, on the rails, off the rails.
She's my twit wife. I only get to see her on Twitch. We got to be on the show.
And I think we got a new unicorn here with Roberto Baldwin. He's going to be part of the fam. It's great to have you, all three of you, back. Our show today brought to you by Uber for Business. Uber, of course, rides, Uber Eats, delivers food. Uber for Business is a great way to keep employees engaged, to keep customers happy. especially nowadays when face-to-face interaction is limited. If you're trying to find a way to stand out to your customers or make your employees feel extra valued, you got to know about Uber for Business. Over 150,000 companies use Uber for Business to improve customer and employee satisfaction. If you're having a hard time getting people, let's say, to show up at that Zoom staff meeting or stay engaged in virtual team meetings or events, you could use a voucher from Uber for Business. Add $20 to their personal Uber account so they can easily order meals through Uber Eats before the meeting. Say, something like, hey, we're going to have a team meeting. I'll buy you lunch, and send them the voucher. Or I'll buy you coffee. Send them a voucher. Want to make your customers love your business even more? Offer them a voucher for a free meal or ride when they make their first purchase or spend a certain amount. Or say, hey, we want you to come to our store. Can I buy you a ride over here and a ride back? With Uber for Business, immediately start delivering extra value to the people who matter most to your business right now. Vouchers are simple. They're easy to send, easy for your customer or a colleague to redeem. Your business has total control over who gets them, when they expire, what portion of the ride or the meal you want to cover. Vouchers, you will send them typically via email or text, and then they can be redeemed by your customer or your employee with a single tap. And here's the best part. You don't pay for anything until they take the ride or buy the meal. You only pay for what they use. Right now, for a limited time, you'll get a $50 voucher when you create your first vouchers campaign and spend $200. All you have to do is go to uber.com/twit to learn more. Great new way to use Uber for meals or rides for colleagues, employees, customers. Uber.com/twit. Terms and conditions apply. Uber.com/twit. It's a really good idea. I know a lot of companies that use this, and I think it's a really smart way to do it. So this is part of the problem, Owen, as you point out, that Twitter, even though they're doing all right, it's hard for them to make money, partly because their CEO has so many other interests. He just bought Tidal from Jay-Z, so now Square just bought Tidal, so now he's got a payment company, a music company, and Twitter he's trying to run. And meanwhile, he's out, meditating or something, growing his beard. One of the things they've floated but have not yet implemented is some sort of subscription. One of the things Jack Dorsey said is, what if we charged you, what if we had a store? Everybody's looking at Apple and how well they're doing with the App Store. What if we had a store where you could buy a curated Twitter? Like you could say, I want a Twitter that's, got a lot of philosophy on it or something like that. And then you pay $5 and we've got this special filter for you. Is that what would you pay for Twitter for, Owen? Besides deleting everything you ever said.
So Twitter is one of the only platforms that doesn't have a nudity clause. If I was Jack Dorsey, I would turn on OnlyFans Twitter and I'd only take a 10%
Oh,
vig,
that's smart.
and I would destroy them, because most of the people that are on OnlyFans has a thing where it tweets out a link, because that, again, is the only platform.
Because no one
where
knows otherwise. So Twitter is the publicity side. Yeah,
exactly, because Twitter's the only one that allows you to use nudity. Tumblr doesn't do nudity anymore since it got bought by whoever, Yahoo, I think it is. I can't remember. But
no one
Twitter's
knows.
the only place where you can put explicit adult content on there. So if I was them, that's exactly what I'd do. I'd be like, hey, here's your own little OnlyFans. You don't have to go outside of Twitter. You don't have to go anywhere for it. We've got an explicit rating on it. So only people that come in and subscribe to you could get to it. Only people that have opted in, which they already have that. You have to hit a button to be able to see that kind of content. And I would only take a 10% vig. They would make billions of dollars in the next quarter, because everyone would like one-stop shopping for that kind of content, and people trust Twitter. A lot of people don't use OnlyFans because you got to go give your credit card to some company that you don't know. And again, they're taking 20% vig. If you take 10%, you're in there like swimwear. Let's get that money printed. That would be my move.
You know what? They have this other company called Square that can help process your payment, and then your payment comes through as Twitter, whatever. It doesn't come through as OnlyFans or Pornhub or I don't know, whatever porn things are out there. So you get the option of seeing the naked people doing the naked things that you like, without the fear of someone else, maybe in your family, or finding out that you're looking at naked people doing naked things.
And just so I don't get yelled at, there are also people that actually have cooking shows, sewing shows.
Oh, yeah. OnlyFans has gone way beyond.
It's
gone way beyond.
It's not all just naked people, but there are a lot of people. Like, I know a lot of photographers that use it too and do like behind the scenes shoots and all their settings and something like that. Just not to say it's not naked people.
Is perhaps the best money generator. Somebody in the chat room is suggesting they could rename it Twitties, and it would be.
That's funny.
As in Conway.
You broke
Twitty.
Owen. You broke.
I broke Owen. I broke Owen.
I mean, you have Patreon. You have all these different Twitch. You have all these different ways to sort of make money with subscribers. And Twitter, you already have all the people right there.
Everybody knows that
basically
the internet was invented for porn. Let's be frank, and the rest of it is just icing on the cake. Or
I don't want to say it was invented for porn. I like to take the subscription that porn makes the internet better. Everything that you ever wanted to do on the internet, porn advances. You remember when you wanted HD? Oh, you got HD. Remember when you wanted 4K? You got 4K.
Yeah.
Remember when you wanted 8K?
Look at what was the difference?
VR?
What was the difference between
first?
What was the difference between Betacam, laser discs, and VHS? Only one of those three platforms had adult content. Only one of them survived. VHS.
That's how it
tapes.
works.
Yeah.
That's what they do. They advance technology, baby. You think that these cars will be electric and hands-free driving if people weren't in cars trying to do stuff hands-free?
Are guys just pathetic slaves to their desires? Is that the truth?
Oh, I think that we all are, right? I think
really?
All, and I don't think that there's. I think that men and women. Again, it doesn't have to be sexual desires. It can be all kinds of stuff.
It's
but
money.
In the end,
yeah. Good food, a fine
all kinds
cigar.
Of different stuff that were there.
Yeah.
But I think that if you're going to have this, you have to have a feature where your tweets and what you do on Twitter is you have the chance to have it deleted. Again, if someone else is copying your famous person, oh well. But at least you could have it deleted forever, wiped clean off their servers, off everything.
There is software, third-party software that will do that. I actually, when I left Twitter, took the trouble of going through process of deleting old tweets.
Wouldn't you pay
nice if
you already had it, right?
Yeah.
If you already had it, it was set up, especially if you end up having whatever nudity or something else that's on there. But let's just say it, like we have a right to be able to be forgotten. I think that should be one of our innate rights. And, if they had that, I think that it would be something that I think a lot of people would find it worth paying money for, especially when you watch people suddenly have all of these horrible things happen for tweets that happened a decade or longer ago.
Yeah, because the API is rate limited on Twitter, I think I could only delete a chunk of tweets at a time, so I had to keep running it. And I don't think it deleted all the tweets.
And it's an API. Like Twitter, that should be a Twitter, like what Jordan was saying, that should be a feature. I should be allowed to say, after a month, delete
them.
Everything that's before, March of 2020, get rid of it. I don't need it. I'm not going back to it. I feel bad for all the publications that have embedded my tweets for whatever reason. But I should have done a screen grab, I guess.
They should have paid you and had you do something.
I think though that's why Twitter doesn't do this, because I think philosophically they have some investment. Not only do they have this investment in the free speech wing of the free speech party, which that's been tarnished a little bit, but I think they also have this investment in the idea that it lasts forever. It's like it's a record of your life. Although I see there's a company called Tweet Deleter, which charges $3.99. So there is money to be made in deleting your tweets, right?
Yeah. I mean, and if they want to be the sort of the tech company of record, then that's fine. But that should be up to the individual account. I shouldn't be held hostage by Twitter because, something, a bad joke I tweeted a long time ago.
I completely agree.
It's not offensive. It's just really, really bad. It's just
Actually, I take it back. So look at this. It's $3.99 a month for up to 500 tweets a month. $4.99 for 3,200 tweets and 1,000 likes per month to delete. Or delete all your tweets and likes for a mere $6 a month.
That's nothing.
Yeah, it feels like you could use this for 1 month and you'd be done. But
I feel like, and then go back to the $3.99 one every,
Yeah, every few months and delete the old stuff. I think it's not a bad idea. Kids, you don't know you know, you might have said something a couple of years ago that was okay then, may even be okay now, that won't be okay in 10 years. Who knows, right?
And side note, just for parents and kids alike, my daughter did recently tell me when she first like got into Twitter and realized the power of Twitter, she was contacting a lot of her like fanboy people that she liked on YouTube and stuff like that. She's like, I was being like a simp and gushy, and I wish that I could delete the DMs that I was sending them, because she can delete on her end, but that doesn't mean anything because it's still on their end. So
Very good point.
you got to be careful.
Oh, that's a good point.
In
fact, that's exactly what happened to this former editor of Teen Vogue. She had deleted him, but somebody had saved him and then reposted him.
And especially in private messages. That's what I mean. Like in private messages, there's going to, unless you're Mark Zuckerberg. I know people have had conversations with him on Facebook, and somehow he deletes the whole record on your side and his side, because, you know, he's running the show over there.
Well, when you run the system, you can make all kinds of changes that you want to, but it shows how important it is. If he's planning to do it, right? Like whenever I see tech people and they're like taping up their cameras, and I'm like, oh, okay, well, if, you know, Zuckerberg has tape on his cameras, I'm like, okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Like he knows.
Yeah.
Yep.
He knows.
It's a sign.
We just have to wait until something happens with one of Jack's old tweets and they have to delete it, and then they'll like, oh, we're gonna make this.
You saw
remember
that,
when
you saw he's selling his first tweet. Let me just check and see how much it's worth.
We're not talking about NFTs today. I don't feel like talking about scammy stuff.
I don't want
Can we talk about a subject and use Robert's intellect? I want to talk about. I want to get to the auto section, and I want to look at this ugly BMW i4. It is a
wait a minute, though. I think today.
I want to see how ugly this
today is the last day to buy Jack Dorsey's first tweet.
Buy it, Uncle Leo.
It ends today. Let's just see what the bidding is up to.
It's $1 billion.
It's been frozen at $2.5 million. Nobody seems to want it for more.
See, there you go.
Why would you?
$2.5 million.
How much? How much should I offer? Should I offer $2?
$2.
Yeah. See what happens if I offer $25.
I think you're going to get an FYIA reply.
This is a good example of why NFTs are oddball, because obviously there was at some time up through March 6th this feeling like this is going to be worth a lot, and then all of a sudden everybody went, oh, and this poor guy Sina Estavi is sitting at the top there thinking, please, Leo, bid 2.8 million, please.
Now, what do you get if you buy
Nothing.
this?
What do you get? You get the right
it's
to say, I own this tweet. That's it.
Sorry, I'm in shock. I'm like,
oh, that's NFTs. That's why nobody wants to talk about this anymore.
And NFTs aren't a problem. If you have money and you find value in something, then it's valuable. You know, if you go to the shore every year and collect rocks with your child, and your child dies at the age of 6, those rocks are priceless to you.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah.
What would you pay to get one of those rocks if your house was broken into and they were stolen? You might pay anything. So there's always value and relativity to it. And I fully am on board NFTs. I'm actually secretly selling NFTs for some of my art friends, but I don't like talking about it because as much as it's a scam, it's reality, because that's how art works. Why do you buy something at $50 and then 20 years later, the guy's not Van Gogh? Why is it valued at $800,000? I don't know, because some rich person thinks they want to buy it. You know, this
was a good article, though, this week in the New York Times. Here's how bored rich people are spending their extra cash. And by the way, maybe that's how bored rich Roberto Baldwin would spend his extra cash on a 1973 Porsche Carrera 911 RS.
If I were rich, yes, but I'm not. So, do
you want to know how much that's selling for right now?
I don't want to know. It's the auction. Like Bring a Trailer has just sort of,
that's who's selling it.
Crazy. They have and they're not manipulating the market, but they've created this hype around the used automotive market, and it's things are just going for so much. Anything from the 90s right now, all the Gen X cars, all the Civics, all the CRXs, all the Nissan Sentras, they're just, I can't even go on the site because it's sort of infuriating that I didn't keep my sold my 1990 Honda Civic DH hatchback to my friend for $300 because he was in dire straits.
Was it mint though? That's the question.
It wasn't mint, but I could have held on to
now,
it.
Though.
Yeah, I could restore it and then turn around.
So the asking price, I might as well tell you, this is on Bring a Trailer, for a 1973 Porsche 911 Carrera RS. The asking price, $1.2 million right now.
Never mind. I wouldn't buy that.
Yeah.
I can't. In my brain, it doesn't matter how much money I have. I can't buy something that I won't feel comfortable driving.
The point, yeah, well, that's right. You can't drive it. The point the New York Times makes, though, is before the pandemic, it was selling for $560,000. So it's doubled. And that's because apparently there are a lot of wealthy people who haven't been spending money on travel or dining out or whatever it is rich people buy. So they've got all this income and they can't. So they're buying things like this coffee table. That's a beautiful, I mean, it's a gorgeous coffee table, but it's selling for, let's see, $2.5 million.
What's it made out of? Is it made out of like Abraham Lincoln's bones? What is it made out of?
Of course, we talked last week about the biggest of all, which is the NFT for Beeple work, a JPEG, which sold for $69.3 million at Christie's last week.
I love marketing so much. Marketing is like my favorite thing in the whole universe of the world. Like the only reason we buy diamonds is because of marketing.
Yes,
they told you for
true.
50 years that brown diamonds were dirty, ugly things and nobody wanted them. Then they turn them into chocolate diamonds and you just buy them. Like the fact that rich people are spending $2 million on a table.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. You mean those chocolate diamonds I bought are just brown, dirty diamonds?
They're the diamonds that nobody wanted. For 40 years, little guys in the Congo were throwing them down the river because nobody could do anything with them. But then somebody smart in a room said, chocolate diamonds, and now we have chocolate diamonds. Like, the fact that you could get rich people to do what you want. My favorite con was, you fell prey to this, Uncle Leo. You're just rich enough to fall for this stuff. 4 years ago, I remember this great article that said, when you're wealthy, acquiring items isn't the thing to do.
Yes.
Traveling is
it's
the thing
experiences. Yes.
You have to experience
experiences.
You have to sip the water from the Congo on the east shore.
The problem with that is you never own it. You got to keep buying it. You got to spend and spend and spend because you can never have too many experiences.
Exactly. So, I mean, that's good money, Uncle Leo. Now they're like, since you can't have the experience, you need a $4.5 million coffee table made out of oak wood from the shores of Brooklyn.
It's a good-looking coffee table, though.
Let's look at his car. We got Rob on here for a reason. We need his expertise.
All right.
Look at the i4.
Yes,
show me the
trash.
car.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about cars. Show me. Why should I hate this, Owen?
What car?
Wait for it.
Tell me the
i4.
car. The i4. Oh, the new BMW?
Yes.
530 horsepower. 300-mile range.
Now, this is a
Looks like
concept car, though. Let's be honest, right?
No, this is the production vehicle.
Okay.
This is the production because they've shown the concept before.
Well, that looks nice. What's ugly about that? That looks all right. It's
No.
No?
You just keep going down.
Keep going down.
So you see the front.
Is it the grill? Yeah.
It's the grill. Look
It's
at the
the grill.
Oh.
It's like Bugs Bunny teeth.
Looks like
And for the price of the car and what it's supposed to do, that is an ugly BMW. It's got a long
that's
butt.
weird.
It's got weird buck teeth, and it's got the worst rims in America. Like,
Oh, let me look at the rims. I didn't see the rims.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
look at that ugly thing.
Yeah. Yeah, that's not so.
How much is?
Yeah.
They're probably charging an arm and a leg for this thing.
Oh, I'm
They
sure
don't have
they
a
are.
price yet.
It's like it. That grill.
It's electric.
It's
It's
like-
electric, though. So it's
electric.
That's nice, but it looks like it hit the butt of another car because it has a little butt imprint on the grill. Is like, I don't know.
You're saying, wait a minute now. You're saying those two things look like somebody's buttocks?
They do like butt cheeks. Now that she said that,
They kind
and
of.
then, somebody with a lot of weight.
We're gonna have to
those
put
are
it.
fat dimples.
We're gonna have to
I got
put
fat dimples on my butt. I know what those are.
I'll
Those
have
little
to put
fat
an adult tag on this particular episode.
Footprints.
Yeah, it does look like a
Well,
butt print on your
I
side.
don't-
It does like
No,
grill.
I can't. You can't
unsee that.
unsee it. You can't unsee that.
Thank you, George. You
No,
just
sorry.
saved me a lot of money. No, I'm.
The headlights are the nicest thing about it. I'm just happy everybody's
The
getting into
headlights?
electric.
They're nice. They're
Electric's
cute.
good.
So BMW came out with this larger and larger grill design, and almost universally people do not like it. But BMW's like, nope, we're gonna just keep doing it. They have not backed down. I remember they were just like, we're just gonna keep going. Nothing you can do about it.
We're
For
running with it.
BMW,
We're
you're
running
gonna
with
buy it
it.
anyway. And you know what? You're
Right.
in the car. You don't have to see the outside.
But that's why you're buying the cars so everyone else can see the outside.
What's a BMW? So you're buying the car for some
Right, for the
people
name.
because it's a BMW. It's like
Because of the name.
Mercedes. Some people
Right.
don't buy these cars because they're good cars. They buy them because they have, the
status.
cachet of a German luxury sedan. and you get inside the BMW, you're like, oh, this is great, but the grill is.
Have you seen the latest? This is the new BMW 7 Series grill. It's it's basically all grill. All right, that's from GTboard.com.
That looks kind of cool, though. You see,
Would you run out? Would you run out and get that?
I probably wouldn't, but I would look if someone else was driving it. I'd be like,
but
what
I mean,
is that?
that's the point. Is that these BMW grills have gotten so ugly that over time, these guys are having some fun with it. It's going to just get bigger
Just a
and
grill.
bigger and bigger and bigger.
I mean, I actually shouldn't be making fun of this car because at some point I got to see a dentist about this gap. I might have some big teeth put in place, so they might be pull it up.
I have a.
You're going to get a BMW.
Here's a
Like
baby.
logo,
Here's an
logo.
Owen JJ Stone baby picture, and
Yeah,
that's him. Yeah.
That's that.
Oh, is that the little sus? It's the little baby sus.
All right, I'm stopping. I'm stopping now. That's it. We're gonna let's
Yeah,
talk.
Owen, you were totally right, by the way.
Yeah.
What?
Ugly.
You were right.
What did
You
he
were right.
predict?
About
Car's
this,
ugly.
this well, yeah.
It's difficult because they're going to be competing against the Model S, which people have gotten used to that design. They're going to be competing with the e-tron GT, which is a beautiful.
That's a
beautiful
gorgeous car. I love that car.
The Lucid Air that's coming out, the
Yeah.
Porsche Taycan, which is a nice looking car. It's more of a sedan than those vehicles, but it's going to be
Why?
up there. Those
For a
those,
long
those type
time-
of buyers,
Electric vehicles were just the ugliest vehicles in the world for some reason.
they didn't want to sell.
Yeah, they were
them.
tiny little
You know,
things.
They didn't want to sell
You
them.
they had to make it in order to meet compliance. Like Fiat, the president of Fiat at one point was saying, well, we don't like this. We don't want to make any more of these Fiat 500Es. The Fiat 500e is the best Fiat that they've ever made. Well, at least in the last 15, 20 years, it's probably the best Fiat.
But
they
not
didn't
the
want to
best
make that
looking.
car.
Not the best looking Fiat.
But it was still, well, I mean, it looks better than any of their little SUV things. It was
No,
just
that's true.
It was just a Fiat 500 that had
Yeah.
the electric powertrain and some batteries in the back.
Right.
And it was great. It drove better than the regular Fiat.
Isn't that funny? It never
it
never
was funner
broke.
to drive.
Yeah.
Yeah, it never broke.
Which is
I mean, you still have you still have Fiat issues with the interior kind of falling apart with the 500. The Fiat 500 is a wonderful disposable car. We leased one for 3 years because the lease was like $120 a month.
I actually wanted one. I thought they were kind of cute. In a kind
They're
of
fun little
odd
like
way.
like the Mini. Sort
yeah,
of
the
that
Mini's
sort of-
cute too. I like the Mini.
Yeah, but
Does
it felt like
Mustang have-
almost a disposable.
Yeah, I have it. It's the Mustang Mach-E, but it's not a Mustang.
No, but does it have like the auto drive stuff?
Yes. Well, that's the funny thing. They say they're going to ship that later this year as a upgrade, and it'll be free for existing owners, and then be some price. But honestly, it does most of the self-driving stuff that Tesla labels autopilot already. It has adaptive cruise control, so it slows down when the vehicle in front of you slows down, comes to a stop if it comes to a stop, starts up again if it starts moving, so it's perfect for stop and go. It has lane keeping, so it will steer you through curves on a lane. There's only a couple things it's missing from Tesla's
My
autopilot.
5-year-old Honda has that, Uncle Leo. That's not impressive.
I didn't claim it was impressive. You just asked me.
I did ask you, but the way you just eloquently you just verbiated all that basic old technology. You made it sound too sexy, Uncle Leo. That's just regular old basic cruise control nowadays, okay? All right, I've had that for 5 years, lane assist and all that kind of stuff. I want my car to pick me up at the grocery store when I walk out the door on a Tuesday at 4:45.
Supposedly, my
Yes.
Tesla had that summon
That's
thing
what I
where you
want.
press a button and it
No.
comes to you.
It doesn't.
In 3 years, I never tried it because I was terrified.
Because run into something.
Yeah.
It's not
See,
ready.
this is what I'm talking about. Rich people buy stuff and then don't use it. You don't deserve to have a car that comes pick you up at the corner. Because what are you not using for? Not one time? That's
You know why?
what's wrong with
Because it
rich people
doesn't
like
work.
you, Leo. You're wasting the space.
Let me verbiate for a moment, okay? If you don't
I'll tell you why he shouldn't have used it, because it doesn't
it
work.
runs into crap. Yeah.
It runs in
I will-
the price of failure is very high.
That's a good
It's not
point.
like,
That's a
my
good way to
computer
put it.
crashed or my
Whoops.
phone. There's something.
But it
it's like,
crashed at a
it's
very
like,
low
kabonk.
speed. But it crashed.
Scrape along the side of some,
Very low speed crash.
or it hit somebody. That's
That's not
just
good.
It only knocked the old woman down. It didn't throw her
Look at my
into the,
screen.
It's
Please
a little
address
blurry.
that.
I can't see it. But
Wait.
Oh,
Yeah.
there,
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
What are we looking at?
What are we looking at?
What is that?
We're looking at somebody's Tesla drive himself from a parking and then come pick him up at the corner, and he does it every day. It won't focus.
Really? This
Because
guy
I'm
does this
afraid-
every day? Oh, that's cool.
Are there any
Do you know
cars?
this guy, or is this some guy on Reddit?
My friend Stephen Krause, he lives in San Diego, California, and I'm upset with the fact that he has his car come picking him and his family up at
You
the
know what?
curb.
I never used it. And I know it works.
so slow.
Yeah,
It's
that's
just
why
so
it's
slow that
it's going very
you could probably
slowly.
walk.
Yeah.
You could walk that fast to get to
But
it.
when you're rich, why walk, Georgia? Walk, Georgia. Come on now.
When you're walking,
wanted
you're
to
not
walk,
bidding
I'd
on
pay a regular
tweets, you're not bidding on
$30,000
NFTs, you're not bidding on 911s. While you're
If I
waiting,
wanted to
True.
you're bidding on amazing things.
Okay. Fair. I should be.
Don't let Uncle Leo sap you into this world of not believing, okay? This is why we spend the money. And whether he used it or not, he's wasting his powers. All that response. What Uncle Ben say?
Wasting his powers.
With great responsibility comes great technology. He said something like that.
Something
I
like
remember
that. Uncle Ben, the rice guy? What are you talking about?
No,
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man. Uncle Ben and Spider-Man.
Spider-Man. Pew,
Okay.
pew, 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 pew,
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
Yes.
All right.
Well, the
Hey,
government's going to regulate
I
it
like
anyway.
the Spider-Man sound effects. Can you do that again?
you got to do the. You got to do. Yeah. You got to do that. Yeah. You got to do the Spider-Man
works,
finger
right?
gestures.
Thank you. That's
Sometimes they come out of his skin. Sometimes he has like little things that he wears that he built in,
Right.
I don't know, math class. I don't.
Yes.
Pew 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 pew.
He does
Let's
whatever
make some money
a
on
spider can.
Let's make some money. Our show today. I love it. Owen JJ Stone. Oh, doctor, always stirring stuff up. IQMZ.com. Georgia Dow. We love her. YouTube.com/Georgia Dow. And of course, the return of one of my dearest, favoritist guys, Roberto Baldwin. Back now that he's out of work, he joins us. Automotive and tech
You got no
journalist.
job. Got nothing but time.
Actually, I think your concert may be potentially coming up in San Francisco in, you said July or August.
August 14th is a tentative date. We haven't announced anything yet because, we still have to figure
I
out
think it may
everything.
be the first live
But-
music I will have seen in a year and a half. I'm really excited.
Yeah. It'll be the first show that I've done since March.
Yeah. 2019.
I don't know, of March.
Yeah.
We did a show
2020.
in March of 2020.
Yeah.
Like right at the beginning, and we hugged people afterwards, and I think about that every day.
Yes. What were we thinking? We hugged people. I am dying to see a live show. We were going to go see an Humphreys McGee live show that, like the weekend after they closed everything down. It was like, oh my God. I'm dying to see live music, and I think it'd be really fun. Roberto has LCD Sound System, which is a cover band for 90s stuff, right?
It's like 2000s. It's like
2000s.
Dance punk. That's the best
Dance
way
punk.
to sort of describe LCD Sound.
And then, but he has many bands, and it's going to be a battle of the bands, battle of Roberto's bands. The other one is a Daft Punk cover band.
Yeah, so we recreate the Daft Punk's 2007 Alive tour.
Oh, nice.
We don't have all the we don't have a giant pyramid and all that stuff, but we do have giant
Daft Punk helmets
that we wear that we can't see a damn thing out of. So we have to wear these special visors with cameras. It's ridiculous. And then I have to run two computers at the same time, and then I have my DJ mix. Exactly. We look. That's what it looks like inside the helmet. I look exactly.
Can't wait to see it. So
Someone should replace one of your computers and just put a raccoon or something. So you think that you're just a computer and it's actually like a raccoon, and then you get the live reaction of.
Ooh.
Well,
you're weird, Georgia. You got some weird fantasies.
Why wouldn't you want to see a raccoon on stage? First of all,
great.
If I were in a band and someone if someone brought up a raccoon while my band, any of my bands, whether it's the original bands that no one goes to because no one cares, or any of the cover and tribute bands, someone brought a live raccoon and put it on stage, and he had little earphones so he wouldn't hurt his hearing.
And you
I'd
didn't
be
know.
stoked.
And you
I'm like,
didn't
this would
know.
be the greatest
and here you are
ever.
playing a raccoon.
Where should
And then your reaction,
are you guys
it was
microdosing right now? Is that what's going on? Is that what I'm missing?
Okay, let me just tell you. Friendly reminder for those listening. don't listen to Georgia. Though I love her, she's Canadian. Secondly, Uncle Leo, let's get this money.
I'm gonna, but first, first I was trying to give Roberto a plug. I want everybody to sign up for your newsletter so they'll know when this event is. Where can they do that?
Oh gosh.
What's your website?
North American Scum theband.com.
North American Scum theband.com.
Or you can just put nascum.com and it'll auto send you to that.
And then if you click the contact button, you can sign up for the newsletter, which I just did because I want this to be my first live show back. So there you have it right there. North American Scum. There's Roberto, by the way.
My hand in the air.
With his hand.
Tie on.
You look good.
I dress up nice for you people.
That's a great
picture.
picture.
On and a nice shirt, and I wear slacks, and I jump around like a rabid raccoon. So if there's another raccoon on stage,
how
they're
come
gonna feel at home.
You and your drummer and your keyboardist are dressed up nice, and then your bassist looks like a lumberjack. What's the story there?
Oh, that's Stu. Stu is no longer in the band. We have another bass player who's also very tall. But Stu is probably one of the best people I've ever met in my whole life. Not just an amazing bass player, an amazing musician.
So you didn't make him wear a tie?
No. Everyone can wear whatever they want.
Oh.
There's no rules.
There's no rules.
The whole
the raccoon can be on stage without
whatever you feel
a tie.
Comfortable. I wear the tie.
I'm just saying,
shirt.
If your name is Stu and you're the bass player in the band, consider your days numbered. That's all I'm saying. Our show, no, I don't know. That's an obscure reference. Our show today brought to you by Worldwide Technology. You know, speaking of the last thing you did, March 2020, we flew out to St. Louis, hugged a bunch of people at Worldwide Technology, and I think about that every day. No, I don't, but I think they're the greatest. They have partnered with Dell Technologies to bring you an amazing thing. Their Advanced Technology Center. We went out and saw it in St. Louis. It started with one building and it's expanded to many buildings, rack after rack of the top of the line enterprise gear, more than $500 million in hardware and software from hundreds of technology companies. Why would you care? Because you can use it yourself. Of course, WWT's engineers use it to quickly spin up proofs of concept and pilots. They use the ATCs to help customers confidently select the best solutions. But you can also use the ATC as lab as a service, which is amazing. It's a dedicated lab space within the Advanced Technology Center where customers, you, can perform programmatic testing of your own using that $500 million ecosystem. Hundreds of on-demand and schedulable labs, things like Dell's VxRail, Cyber Recover Solutions, Power Store. We saw the Dell Power Stores. Those are beautiful. Man, they look great in the rack. Unity, PowerMax, Data Protection Central, IDPA. The newest advances in primary storage, and you can try them yourselves. Other labs at the ATC represent the latest advances in things like multi-cloud architecture, security, networking, automation, primary and secondary storage, data analytics, AI, DevOps, everything any business might want to know about, you can find out about at WWT's Advanced Technology Center. And because it's virtual, you can use it anywhere in the world, any time of the day or night. It's there for you. WWT's engineer. We met a lot of the engineers, and I said, you must love your job. They said, yeah, it's the best job in the world. We get to play with the latest, greatest stuff. They're in there every day, beta testing new equipment, building reference architectures, doing custom integrations for their customers so their customers can see results, make decisions, figure out what's going to work without a big investment. It's really kind of impressive. WWT's ATC platform encompasses the entire lab ecosystem, and it creates a multiplier effect of knowledge and speed and agility available anytime, anywhere around the world for its customers and partners. Not just labs. There's technical articles, there's demonstration videos, white papers, everything you need to stay up to date with the latest technology. And while you're there exploring the ATC platform, do me a favor, make sure to check out WWT's events and communities because there's lots of opportunities there, too, to learn about technology trends, hear about the latest research and insights from their experts. If you're in business, you know that technology is transforming business. But you don't want to go it alone. You need a partner who understands it, who spends every waking moment working on it, learning from it. You can participate, too. WWT. To learn more about Worldwide Technology, their Advanced Technology Center, to become a member of this amazing community, Go to wwt.com/twit. It's easy. Create an account. You'll immediately get access to the on-demand labs today. Let WWT help you reach better decisions faster. wwt.com/twit. WWT bringing strategy and execution together for their customers all over the world. We love WWT. Can't wait to get out to St. Louis. Right after I go see North American Scum, the band, I'm going to St. Louis to see. Do you ever go to St. Louis to play? Does the band tour or you just play the Bay Area?
No, we just play the Bay Area. We occasionally will have someone who will reach out to us and ask us to play somewhere far away. And because we're all working adults, we all have jobs.
You got real jobs.
And there's 7 to 8 of us.
Well, everybody except you now.
Yeah, well, yeah. There's 7 to 8 of us. It's expensive. It's expensive to like ship all of us and our gear to another place. So we typically don't really leave the Bay Area.
Are you a party band? Is that the category?
Yeah, it's all the whole we don't play any slow songs. Everything is about dancing. We just want people to have fun and dance. I've been in that sort of like, the punk band when I was in my early 20s, where you cared about your feelings and you cared about like what everyone thought, and you had a slow song and a bunch of fast songs, and someone in the band would get angry because they came with the song and everyone else in the band's like, that sucks. So I decided to like create these like sort of these tribute bands where we're just here to have fun. That's it. That's the whole point of the band.
Perfect.
Just have fun.
That's my favorite kind of band. Yeah.
Dance around, drink.
God, this must have been a hard year.
Money.
This must have been such a hard year because you can't do it, right? Nobody's.
Yeah, I haven't seen any of my bands. We haven't done any practices. I have a lot of bands because it's something that I like to do. I like that, we hang out. It's like, people are always concerned about, I'm never going to make a friend after the age of 30. I've made new friends who are in my band, who are in other bands. And, once a week we learn a bunch of songs. And then, once a month or so we play a show and a bunch of people dance and we get all sweaty and we get all tired and then we sleep in the next day.
Let's see here. Amazon driver quits because the company has put in a camera that can sense when he's yawning or doesn't use a seatbelt. Is that a story?
The yawning part's a problem. The seatbelt thing is important. I mean,
but doesn't it bother you that it would like that there's a camera that's like stalking you for work? Like, doesn't that go to like you have like I don't want a camera to know when I like pick at my nose or like
it's a little creepy.
How far should a company go? Like, there's a whole bunch of companies now that have like access to your webcam, right? Like that was another story, and so they could watch if you were at the computer or not. Like, isn't that an invasion of privacy? I don't know. Like, do they own you just because you're driving
Somebody in the
their
chat
stuff
room
around?
saying Amazon treats their workers like robots. And I think that's maybe the underlying story here is that from Amazon management's point of view, the guys and gals working in the warehouse, the drivers, they're cogs in a giant machine. They're not human beings. So these camera systems, it's called driver in the letter I, manufactured by a company called Netradyne. The cameras are always on. They scan drivers' body language, the speed of the vehicle, which Amazon, by the way, they have every right to do this. It's their vehicles. Speed of the vehicle, yeah. Drowsiness, that seems sensible. In fact, Roberto, right? The Cadillac and a number of other vehicles now.
A lot of vehicles, they have drowsiness detectors, but they also, most fleet management systems already tell you how fast a car is going, how efficient it is. They don't need a camera inside the car to tell you how fast you're going. They're already tracking the vehicle. So adding another camera and saying, "Oh, it's because of speed and drowsiness," that's BS.
And who's watching all that? I mean, I don't really. Every driver, FedEx driver, UPS drivers, their device in itself will say if it's sedentary too long, if it hasn't moved, if it's moving too fast. Like there's a geometer scope in there that gives a whole lot of information on the driver. Yeah. You know what I mean? So other than being on camera, but I'm like, who watches this thing? And at the end of the day, the thing I see online all the time is like, oh, Jeff Bezos for $200 million. When's he going to become Iron Man or Batman? They don't understand. This dude is Lex Luthor. He's evil. Okay, he's never going to be Iron Man. All right,
he is bald. He's bald as a cue ball.
Lex Luthor right in your face, and you don't even realize he's Lex.
Amazon says the footage is not automatically pumped to Amazon. The live feed only turns on after a safety or policy violation is detected. I'd like to know what the policies are. Chewing gum. By the way, they have it's a voice comes on if you violate and says something. There's an automated verbal alert. Wow.
I don't like it.
Yeah,
it's right up there with not letting people go to the bathroom in warehouse.
But then you have the right to quit. You know, right? I mean, you don't have to.
That's why people should unionize. I'm like, unionize already.
Yeah, I agree.
Unionize.
And of course, Amazon's
Don't
fighting
let
that
these
tooth and
companies-
nail.
Well,
That's
of
the thing
course.
they really don't want.
When the big bad doesn't want you to do it, that's the sign maybe you should be doing it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right? It's like the guy that's holding the gun says, you know what? Don't run away. Stay quiet. Get into the trunk of the car. Maybe you should not listen to the guy with the gun.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, maybe you should if he's got a gun. Is the gun loaded?
You're not coming back from the second location.
If I can say, thank you, Roberto. Thank you. The second location's never going to be better. He's not moving you to a location where you'll have better chances of getting away.
Wait a minute. I feel like there's a life lesson here.
Never, ever. You fight right away when someone tries. Used to teach self-defense. You fight right away when someone tries to move you from location 1 to location 2. It never gets better. You have the greatest chance, the least amount of risk. Go. Whether they have a gun, a knife, anything, I get it. You're scared, but don't let them move you.
This sounds like you guys know this, and I never learned this. So tell me again, you're not leaving the second location. Don't go to...
You're not coming back.
So you're in a location, you're in a location where you know it, you put yourself there, you understand where you can escape to. When they're trying to move you to a second location, it is only so they can do horrible things to you in a place where they know you are they're bad people.
They control the second location.
They've chosen it. They have chosen it.
Roberto,
so
how do you know this? Are you also a martial arts instructor?
No, but
am I an idiot that I don't know this?
I think this is probably something that we probably learned as kids. I'm like in my 40s, so maybe stranger danger was kind of a thing that started being. But also, there's a really good John Mulaney sketch bit about second location.
Okay.
So if
you learned it from John Mulaney, there you go. Okay. Don't go to the second location.
No, never go to a second location. That's
fight
if,
right away.
If there's anything you've learned on today's show, don't go to the second location.
One thing that you should carry from this show. But it is life and death. Make sure that you don't ever let someone move you. There's some cases.
But what if they're going to kill me if I don't? But they won't, because that's the reason they want me to go to the second location, because it's not safe to kill me here.
Yes. Exactly.
Yeah.
You have the greatest chance. Yeah. Go ahead, Roberto. Say it.
And when you run, you run back and forth.
No one's going to do that though, Roberto. No one's doing the alligator. No one's doing the alligators. If they say if you're going to run from an alligator zigzag, I'm sorry, your brain.
That slows you down.
I didn't know.
But that also slows you down.
I didn't know that.
You're doubling the amount of distance you have to cover. You should go.
But it's also your brain cannot. You're not. Again, remember, in fight or flight, you are just going to do. It's the you fight, attack, you flight, run, you freeze, or you faint. Those are your options. There's no zigzagging that's going to happen.
Now, if I'm a rich man,
I like to be agreeable movement. My thing is to just be agreeable.
Nice. Say, hey, man.
No, you can't be that nice though.
Let me tell you something. So I got held up at gunpoint.
Yes.
Guy was like, "Oh, give me your wallet and your keys," and I was like, "Sure, no problem." Mind you, I keep my money in my pocket. I don't keep anything in my wallet. And I was like, "Oh." And my keys are over here.
But you should keep a token amount in your wallet so he doesn't know that there's other money somewhere else.
Yeah.
Keep a 5 in there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Long story short, I was so agreeable that he didn't realize that he was just following me as I was walking. Because I'm like, oh, yeah, I'll give you my keys. They're right there. And as I'm walking, I'm in my apartment complex, and I walk just far enough out to where this girl could see me out on her balcony. I'm like, hi, how you doing? And she's like, hey, what's going on? I just started walking towards her. And then the guy had to run off because he wasn't going to do anything in front of the person.
Can't shoot you in front of a witness.
He allowed me to walk.
Because you're at the first location.
They want your stuff. You are right. But you're right, though, Owen. If they want your keys, your wallet, your car.
It's not worth it.
Give it to them.
Yeah.
Give it to them. Who cares?
Because here's my problem.
If they want to move you, they don't want your keys.
Here's my problem. You're assuming that this person is rational. I mean... This guy could shoot you. He doesn't know anything. He says, I don't care. There's a witness. Big deal.
If he wants to move you,
Right.
He wants to move you.
That's
because
rational.
He's probably not rational.
Right.
But like again, there might.
I'm not so much. I have a daughter, so I'm not so much worried about people moving her. I'm worried about people taking advantage of her in certain situations. So, I mean, the whole moving thing. I mean, kidnapping is very rare instance. So if you have a daughter or a female, their biggest worry is somebody they might know be at a party somewhere. The music's too loud. I mean, I'm teaching my daughter in events of that. Like, oh yes, just
that's practical.
Play nice for 30 seconds till you get yourself in a position. I mean, mind you, she's a brown belt and she does jiu-jitsu, MMA, wrestling, all that kind of stuff. She can handle herself. Like, you play nice until you get into a position of power and then you knock him out. You go ahead and take
I like the way you handled that, Owen, though. You were agreeable and you slowly walked to a position where other people were around and the guy said, that's it, we're done.
See, and Owen went to his second position. He went to his second location where he was in control.
So the rule holds whether you're the good guy or the bad guy. Don't let the good guy take you to a second location either.
Are you
not going to get
advice to the bad guys?
Can somebody look?
There's
put
no
me
bad
on the main
guys
camera.
that watch Twits.
Put me on the main camera. This is a technology show. We are not life analysts, advisors. Do not take anything we say. Go find yourself police
Owen
officer.
said never go to a second location.
Don't listen to anything we say and advice that we give. You need to live and survive. What I'm teaching my daughters for her own education, what Leo talking about, he ain't never had to be in a situation. Don't listen to us.
For
Let's get back to
purposes
technology.
only.
Yes.
I have to say, I've never been robbed. I've never been held up. I've never been pickpocketed. None of that's happened to me, which means immediately after I leave the studio today, I will be robbed, pickpocketed, and murdered. Just so you know. I've
taken to a second location.
They're going to take me to a second location. I've brought down the wrath of the gods just by saying that. Instagram has announced, who knew? It will no longer let adults message teens who don't follow them.
Oh, that's great.
It's about time. I didn't even know that you could.
Yeah.
My daughter gets foot requests all the time.
Wait, what?
Sorry?
No.
Can you repeat that?
No. Not gonna go there.
No, because it is to the thing. Like she would, obviously, again, me and her have a great relationship. She explains everything to me. And she comes to me, obviously she blocks the people that send her inappropriate stuff, but people do. And the one time, the one guy went and came through another thing and I reported him. And I'm sitting there saying to myself, dummy me, what I should have did was say, hey, PayPal me the $500 and I would have sent him a picture of my feet or like alligator feet and then reported him after I got the $500 and blocked him. This is great for him to finally do this.
Facebook, however, after announcing Instagram will no longer adults message teens, has announced that they are going to make an Instagram for kids under the age of 13. What could possibly go wrong?
They'll never use it unless they're 5 and their mom's running their account.
Yeah.
They have Finstas. They're not going to do that. I mean, that's the problem with that.
Internal Instagram post obtained by BuzzFeed News says, quote, we have identified youth work as a priority for Instagram and have added it to our H1 priority list. Youth work.
Youths. Like when they were like minors and stuff back in the day. Instead of making money, instead of exploiting children by sending them underground, we exploit them with ads.
Yeah. This is Vishal Shah, who's Instagram's vice president of product, writing on an employee message board, but of course nothing is private these days. We will be building a new youth pillar within the community product group to focus on two things. This is, I think, informative about how they think about these things. Accelerating our integrity and privacy work to ensure the safest possible experience for teens and building a version of Instagram that lets people under the age of 13 safely use Instagram for the first time. Actually, Instagram, like almost everything else, because of COPPA, the Child Online Protection and Privacy Act, will not allow you to join if you're under 13. But of course, I don't think that stops anybody. They don't make any real effort to verify that. But
this makes me think about cigarettes when they used to advertise to kids. They understand that if you don't start at a certain age, then you're not going to continue on.
So get them young.
Yeah, get them young, indoctrinate quickly. And people will, once you're used to an ecosystem, you're comfortable. You're going to stay and keep on using it. That's their thought. That's their hope for it. Even though, this is not good. Social media is not great for kids because most kids don't understand what they're doing, what they're posting. Not everyone has Owen as a dad. Let's just say it. Owen, you have to be all of our dads.
He's a good dad. Yeah, be all our dad. Yeah.
And you should start. This has nothing to do with indoctrinating them. This has to do with TikTok and Snapchat. They are losing the youth at an alarming rate. They need to do something to bring the youth back because, sending a kid to Instagram is like sending them Facebook or a letter by pigeon. They don't want to go there. You know what I mean? Like if it's not on TikTok, it's not real.
Now, maybe this is not the audience, but when I watch TikTok, a lot of TikTokers say, check out my Instagram account. Like they do both. But that's like people trying to be influencers, you're saying.
It's also the fact of check out my YouTube channel. Right. Check out my Twitter. Check out my whatever. If you're already here and you love me, I need you to love me on other platforms. Yeah. Build up maybe I can get you here and get you there. So that's why I do it. But 90% of what you watch on Instagram anymore that's interesting has a TikTok name floating around it. They've already posted it on TikTok then they put it on Instagram. By the time I look at something on Instagram, my daughter's looking at me like I'm a 92-year-old man. She's like, I was laughing at that 2 weeks ago, bro. Right. Like, come on. Like, you know what I mean? Because I don't have the same algorithm she has on TikTok. So she's in the cool hip from the future TikTok. I'm in the, hey, let me sell you some socks and a good dad joke TikTok. Okay?
Now this I would buy.
It has all the cool fun stuff.
This I would buy. If I could say to TikTok, I would like that cool hip younger algorithm. Can I trade my silver-haired algorithm in? I would buy that. Wouldn't you rather?
All you have to do is give a 17-year-old, give your son the TikTok for like a week and you'll be cool.
He'll fix it.
It'll change everything.
Oh yeah, he'll fix the algorithm because it learns really quick what you're into, bro. Like real quick.
Oh, that's disappointing. When I think about what I see on TikTok now, maybe
it's all your fault.
It's all my fault.
It's the way the internet works, right? So the internet, if you look at my Twitter or my Facebook, they think that I am a 71-year-old white man that lives in Los Angeles or New York City. I get ads for old dating sites. I get ads for.
Is that because you do that on purpose, or is that just who you are?
Oh, I did that because I don't want them selling things to me. I like to know what they're selling me. So when they're selling me old stuff, I know that they're going by my age and my location. You know what I mean? They think that I'm Owan from
Actually,
LA.
I have to say it works because I really enjoy TikTok. So they're obviously picking the right videos for me. I might not enjoy Henry's TikTok because it would be for a young guy.
Yeah, their algorithm is impressive. It is impressive technology.
Good. Yeah. Is it the best?
Scary.
Well, and how is Snapchat still in the game? Didn't Instagram kick Snapchat's butt with their stories and all that?
For the olds.
For the olds.
Did you see this on my phone?
What?
Wait, what?
Didn't see it, right? That's the point, because that's why Snapchat is still cool. The kids are on there because they're putting up stuff that they don't want people to see, and it goes away.
Okay. And TikTok's the exact opposite. It's stuff you want everybody to see.
Yep.
So I should never go to a second location? Is that the rule?
That's the rule. Never go to a second location.
Okay, I'm learning. I'm just learning here.
That's the rule.
And honestly, you live in a life of bringing everyone to a second location. You run a show where you bring guests to your location all the time, Uncle Leo. You're playing the game and don't even know.
Ooh, I'm playing the game and I don't even know it. Or maybe I do. Aha! Our show today, let's take a little time out. I'm so confused. Our show today brought to you by Stamps.com. This is a game we've been playing since 2012. That's when we signed up for Stamps.com. What are you waiting for? We use it for everything. We print stamps, we print postage, we put labels on boxes, all from the comfort of our office at the desk using our computer and our printer. No postage meter necessary, no special inks. Stamps.com brings all the services of the Postal Service to you. So you don't have to go to the post office. You want to visit your favorite folks at the post office, that's your choice, but you don't need to. You could send letters, you could ship packages. And by the way, you get discounts you cannot get at the post office. Up to 40% off post office rates. Now, I have a very important announcement. Stamps.com isn't just the United States Postal Service. Stamps.com now does UPS as well, the United Parcel Service. So you get the services of the post office and UPS all in one place. You get great discounts, up to 62% off UPS shipping rates. You could print Official U.S. postage 24/7 for any letter, any package, any class of mail, anywhere you want to send. You can use UPS, right? You must hate this, Owen. You run a UPS shop, right?
I love it. We also do regular mail there too, and I also use stamps.com for my daughter's business and soap and stuff like that. So stamps.com is the jam. It's very convenient and very useful. The biggest selling point right now is the fact that you could just do your stuff at home, and if you want to drop it off, you walk in, put it on the counter, and you leave done. Because all your stuff's going to be scanned, registered, and sent to you via email. It's great.
Yeah, it's very fast. 1 million small businesses like Owen's, like ours, use stamps.com. We have a special deal. Stop wasting time going to the post office. Instead, go to stamps.com. There's no risk. Use our promo code TWIT. You'll get a special offer. It includes a 4-week trial plus free postage, a USB scale so you never put too much or too little postage on, and there is no long-term commitment, no contract. Just go to stamps.com. You see, enter that TWIT right there. Click the microphone, enter TWIT, stamps.com, promo code TWIT. Never go to the post office again. Go to the post office, but because you're in the mood. You want to see your friends. I have a post office box. I don't know what I'm going to do now. I haven't been there since March of 2020. And it's this big. I don't know what is going to happen. I'm going to open it, and it's going to, like a bazooka, shoot out at me all the mail that I haven't collected in more than a year. Anyway, that's another story for another day. Stamps.com. I don't need to go to the post office. I get all the stamps, everything I need, right here. Stamps.com. Don't forget the offer code TWIT. I think this would be a good time. Give everybody a little bit of a break from this nonstop action on this show to show you some of the fun that happened during the week here at TWIT. Watch. I'm not crazy about a sleep tracker that uses my noises. I tape my mouth shut. So, no, it's true.
That was the wrong time to take a drink of water, man.
Previously on TWIT. Tech News Weekly.
Joseph wrote a story about a way to take advantage of a flaw in SMS. Hackers are able to take over phone numbers in mere minutes and do it in a way that's incredibly simple.
Hands-on tech.
I had the honor and pleasure to have a camera sent to me from the folks at Sony, and it is the Sony A7S Mark III.
Windows Weekly.
So we got to talk about Apple. Could you guys talk about Apple?
We look at what AMD does. We look at what Apple does from a technical standpoint. We look at what they do from a marketing standpoint or from a product positioning standpoint. I think an Intel plus Microsoft plus the ecosystem push and campaign and strive for innovation, more so than even we had done over the last 5 years.
This Week in Google.
So you tape your mouth shut and you're worried because it sounds weird when you're snoring.
No, there are no sounds anymore.
TWIT.
Lisa says it's like sleeping with a mime. It seems like I'm headed towards some sort of bizarre fantasy.
Leo can't get up and he can't scream because his mouth is taped closed.
Oh, if it weren't true. If it weren't true. We've lost Roberto.
We lost someone. We lost someone.
Roberto. Now we can admire his artwork. He's got a raccoon. You mentioned the raccoon. He has a raccoon on the wall, a little cat, and a wolf.
It's a red panda, yeah.
And they're dressed. Is that a red panda or a raccoon?
I think so. I think it's a red panda. I might
be
wrong.
These were NFTs. We wouldn't even be able to see them.
They could be very valuable. I'm listening. So
it
next
could be
week,
one of the members of the band.
Oh, that's who it is. It's his fantasy band that he plays with at home. Oh, it's a Zoom background screen grab. Oh, no. Oh, shoot. Hey, Roberto. Wait a minute. He's coming back. Can you get out of the shot again? We want to just shoot that for a screen background for everybody to use on their Zoom shot. Okay, quickly screen grab that. Okay, perfect. There is a strange shadow there, but that's okay.
Me?
We were asking you about the paintings. So is that a raccoon or a red panda?
So there's a red panda and there's a cat and then a coyote. And this painting, was it right here? My wife did.
Oh, yeah, she's good. I love it.
My wife did. And then she makes. I'm in her office because I don't have the router and everything is in her office.
Yeah, that's
so in
good.
my office there's like a big there's a bunch of other stuff.
I love the art though. Did she do the red panda and the raccoon, or is it?
No, these are
they're watercolors. They're beautiful.
Yeah, these are from somehow she found like them small somewhere, and then I found a calendar with all of these, and so I bought her the calendar so she could cut them out and put them on the wall.
At first, I thought they might be CryptoPunks. You know what those are? Speaking of NFTs, they were one of the first. They're a 8-bit kind of icon-sized drawings that are now you could have picked up for a song when they first came out some years ago. They're now worth hundreds of thousands of dollars, but they're digital. So the reason I bring that up, next week Kevin Rose is going to be on. He's just launched a new podcast called Modern Finance, mofi.net, and the very first episode they talked about this whole weird collectible thing. And he's talking about, like, I had 30 CryptoPunks, but I decided I wanted to sell them and just really focus on one really valuable CryptoPunk. So I got the smiling zombie, which is apparently worth like $100,000. This is what they look like. This is nuts. You don't own. I mean, you own it. It's yours officially.
Yeah.
But there's nothing to hang on the wall. I guess you could print it out, but so could anybody. I mean, I could print these out, put it on the wall.
Huh.
Interesting, isn't it?
And then you sell them to others.
That's the theory, right? He's talking about how a lot of times nowadays when people buy fine art, Van Goghs or Picassos, they never even take them out of the airport. They store them.
Because of taxes.
Yeah. And because they're not buying it to put it on the wall. They're buying it as investment. So they just keep it in special storage facilities at the airport, so they never have to pay the customs or the taxes, and it's still just as good as selling it. I guess it's kind of the same as I've got money in the bank, but is there money anywhere? There's no money in the bank. It's just bits.
It's crypto. Crypto's solid enough that it's money. I mean, again, I fully understand it, and as much as it's a scam, it's a real thing because it's just like anything else. Like we just said, fine art has a value because people put value on it. It just is the way it is. Like, crypto's a joke 10 years ago. Now it's like, oh, everybody's clamoring to get it. Like, okay, well, now it's got enough people that back it to where you don't have to worry about it going to zero unless you're Jason Calacanis and you think it's going to go to zero every day.
Is that his position on crypto? His
position's very fluid, and it's a weird position on crypto. He says things like that often.
Whoa.
Oh, well, you never know. You never know. It might go to zero. Could.
It could.
I mean, everything could go to zero.
Right.
I mean,
the dollar could go to zero.
The value of the dollar could go down to zero. The value of gold could go down to zero.
You could be in Weimar, Germany.
The value of oil went down
it
to
was below zero. It was below zero.
And I believe March or April of last year. So
yeah.
That is the key.
What is the key? Never go to a second location? Is that the key?
Never go to a second location.
Okay. God, I feel like I'm a novice walking with masters. Oh, sensei. Oh, Dr. Sensei. Oh, great Georgia, teach me tonight. A hacker got all my texts, writes Joseph Cox, for $16. Now, he paid the hacker to do it, but this is, if you ever needed a reason to say, I will never again use SMS for two-factor authentication, this is it. What a chilling story this is. He hired a hacker for his purposes of the story, effectively to hack him. Now, normally we talk about SIM swapping, where a hacker will call your phone company and say, hey, it's Leo. I lost my phone. Can you send me a new SIM? Yeah, sure. What's your address? Well, I've moved. I now live at Sing Sing. That's in Ossining, New York. I'm in cell block 43. Okay, we'll send that SIM right away to you. And then they have your phone number and all the texts go to them. And so your SMS authentication goes to them. And you're done. This is so much easier. This is so much simpler. So he hired a guy, Lucky225, which, by the way, if you're a hacker, that's a nice name. He's a white hat, I guess, hacker. Or we don't say white hat anymore, do we? He's a good guy hacker. Can I say that?
We call them security researchers now.
He's a security researcher. What he did, he went to a company, and by the way, I'll mention the company's name, but it's not really the company's fault. There are lots of companies that do this. He went to a company that helps businesses, they're called Sakari, helps businesses send and receive text messages to customers, Sakari. They have a trial plan for $16 a month. And, of course, you need to give them the number that you want to send and receive messages from, right? Because they basically goes to them, and then they send it along to you. How do you get this number? You send them a letter of authorization saying, yeah, I own this number. Can be completely forged. They even very kindly give you online the letter of authorization to sign. Apparently, they do no verification. That Lucky 225 paid the $16, and now he's getting all of Cox's texts sent to him, as well as, by the way, Cox never notices this because it's also being sent to his phone as usual. All you need is this letter of authorization, and that's it.
Why doesn't it give you that stupid thing I get in the email that says you have been signed into a new device and your texts are being shared with another device?
Boy, it
Well,
sure
SMS.
it should say that.
There's no who owns SMS. It's up to the individual phone company. This is why the SS7 exploit is such a big deal. And then that's the SS7 exploit was why Jack Dorsey got his Twitter account hacked, and that's why they turned off SMS tweets because Jack was hacked.
Right.
Not because it's been a problem for years. That's why as soon as Jack tweets something or someone finds a tweet from 10 years ago and uses it to call him out, that's when we're going to get the
that's when we
ability
fix that.
to delete tweets that are over a month old.
That's the privilege of owning your own company. I suppose Sakari is going to change how this works. I hope these other companies, apparently there are many that do this. Unfortunately, you may not have a choice. For instance, my bank, and I think most banks, that's how they send the two-factor authentication. They send it via SMS. And you can beg and plead and say, I'll never use you again, but good luck finding a bank that doesn't have that.
Yeah. And in some places, if you can use an authenticator, use it. But it's also, this is a targeted attack. You always have to take into account that
That's a good
most
point.
of these attacks are targeted attacks. If you're a CEO, if you're a journalist, if you're human rights, you're someone who protests human rights, if you're a female, that's also a targeted attack. If any
ex-boyfriend going after you, you
have any sort of issue in your life where you think someone is going to be targeting, that's when you have to really be careful with your online accounts.
That's a good point, because this is not a mass attack. This is against one phone number.
It's someone had to someone targeted this individual because he asked them to.
Right.
The average person isn't getting targeted. The average person doesn't have to worry about this attack. But try to use an authenticator app. Microsoft makes one. A couple other companies make one.
And we say that, and I think our audience knows enough to do that. But the problem is there are still, and especially banks for some reason, maybe because their customers aren't sophisticated, there are still lots of institutions, financial institutions especially, that use text messages.
And if you're rich, then you should really should figure out some other. Especially if you're rich, you can tell the bank to do whatever they want. Do this, I'm rich. As opposed to me, who's not rich, I tell the bank something. They're like, whatever, go to Citibank. We don't care.
Yeah. So if I'm rich, I should do that, and I should never walk. Right? I should bring my car. Never walk. I'm just trying to taking some notes.
Definitely don't walk to the second location.
And never walk to a second location. Have your car bring you there.
Yes.
Exactly.
Okay. I hope I'm learning here. You remember it was actually in the middle of a show. This happened during This Week in Google last year. All of a sudden, we're seeing tweets from Barack Obama, Joe Biden, Jack Dorsey, Apple, saying, I've decided to give back to my community. So for the next 30 minutes, if you send me any amount of Bitcoin, I'll double it and send it back to you. You'd kind of have to be an idiot to fall for that. It was very obvious Twitter had been severely hacked. We're saying, what's going on here? I mean, first of all, if you were able to post on anybody's account that you wanted to, and that seemed like it was apparent, Barack Obama, Elon Musk, Kanye West, Bill Gates, Jeff Bezos, Mike Bloomberg, Warren Buffett, Floyd Mayweather, Kim Kardashian, Apple, and Uber. If you can do that, you got the nuclear option. Do something, say, I don't know what, but it seems like asking for Bitcoin is the least. We thought either this is a clever ploy to distract, or this guy is a kid. Turns out It was a kid, a 17-year-old high school student who had basically got the hack by convincing a Twitter employee that he was with Twitter IT, and he got the guy to give him, we think, his Slack handle, his Slack login. The kid logged into his Slack, and lo and behold, Twitter had pinned it, in fact, the credentials for the Twitter customer service portal, which gave you access to all these people's accounts and the ability to tweet on their behalf. That's what the kid did with it. He was caught like within a day. I'm not going to say his name because this is something he did as a youth at 17. He has been convicted now. If he'd been tried as an adult, it would have been 10 years. Minimum. But he was tried as a youth, and he is going to get 3 years in juvie, basically a prison designed for youthful offenders, like a boot camp, military-style boot camp. So this great threat to our national security is no longer he's going to a second location, actually, is what's happening.
Well, I mean, it shows there was I saw a talk with Kevin Mitnick. Kevin Mitnick's a very famous
we know Kevin well.
Hacker. Yeah, everyone knows Kevin Mitnick. He talked about how his company, they do pen testing, which is they try to break into companies. The companies pay them to try to break in. And if it's just technology based, they have, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But he said if there's social engineering involved, and this is where you talk somebody into giving you information, his company can get in 100% of the time.
Yeah. He wrote the book on social engineering. Yeah, actually,
Matt Honen's huge hack that happened back when we were both working at Wired. That was all social engineering that the person did with Amazon and with Apple. And it's you just keep trying and you create these scripts in order to get to these certain get past individuals. And it really, if you can just talk people into doing something and sharing what feels like information that's not that important with a third party, turns out that information is very important and it's part of a puzzle to get into accounts. And the fact that it was a kid as opposed to a nation state could have put something on there. They could have gotten to Donald Trump's thing and said, we're nuking Russia or India or started.
If you had Elon Musk, look what Elon Musk has done to the value of Bitcoin, to the value of Tesla stock with his own tweets. If you had Elon Musk's account, buy some Tesla stock and make an announcement. There was ways to make millions of dollars, but he's a kid. He's 17-year-old.
He's a kid.
He's in high school.
He didn't cover his tracks. He
got busted right away. Yeah.
He got a ridiculous, he had a ridiculous idea. As a smart kid.
And actually, I'm going to give the feds a lot of credit because they could have thrown the book at him. They could have put him in jail for 10 years. They decided to try him in a state court instead of a federal court because they had more flexibility to try him as a juvenile. So they actually, I think they were intentionally pretty nice to this kid. And get this, by the way, of course, he gave out a Bitcoin address, and you can look at any Bitcoin address and see how much money came in. About $117,000. It wasn't exactly a giant successful
windfall. But still, it's
what would you do if you had Elon or Kanye's or Kim Kardashian's or Bill Gates' Twitter? It seems Jeff Bezos's seems like you could say something that would be of huge material value. Jeff Bezos could say, "Hey, don't look now, but the next time we announce our quarterly results, you're going to be blown away." And of course, you buy the stock before you tweet that and profit. Seems like
an SEC. Well, I mean, it's an SEC.
Yes, but you don't care about that, right?
Yeah, I mean, and how do they keep track of who's buying and who's selling stock? Especially if you buy the stock a month ahead of time and then you pull this off.
He could have done so much. He just decided to have some fun.
You could have shorted GameStop.
If he had done something good, instead of doing it just for himself, Jeff Bezos was like, guess what? We're giving, everyone's getting whatever, $15 an hour plus all benefits.
Wouldn't that be awesome?
You're all going to be unionized. And then everyone's excited. There's a whole bunch of articles out about it. And then he has to kind of decide if he's going to backtrack or not.
If he said, before he says that, short the stock, because everybody's going to be excited, but the stock market's going to punish Amazon for that, right? That's why they don't do it. So short the stock, then do it. Or just say everybody should buy GameStop. I think it's going places.
GameStop. The place you bought a game at 5 years ago.
Actually, I am not going to knock GameStop. we have an 18-year-old. His one deepest desire in all of life was a PlayStation 5. I promised him one. His birthday was November 26th, right? And I said, we're going to get you a PlayStation 5. And I have been banging on every retailer every week trying to get a PlayStation 5.
Uncle Leo, see, this again is where you upset me. You buy a Tesla and you don't have it drive to you, okay?
Yeah.
The child wants a PS5. If you don't buy him a PS5 today, I'll be enraged with you.
We got a PS5. That's the. But no, you're saying I should have spent $1,000 on eBay and bought one.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No, that hurts me.
You bought a Tesla and didn't have it drive to you. You're obviously burning cash. What's an extra $400? A lonely mother who can't afford the PS5 who said, let me buy one, double my money, and get another one for my child so I can actually afford it. You're not helping the economy.
We got it list because he got a tip that GameStop had stock. He ran over there. He said, Mom, give me your credit card. He ran over there. He got it. He got it at MSRP. You had to buy a bundle, but he wanted Call of Duty and Spider-Man anyway. I have to say, you're right, Owen, because it's ending up being expensive because I stupidly said, but you're watching it on a 1080p. You really need a 4K TV.
Not only did you get him a 4K 120 hertz, because let me tell you something. Me and my daughter are playing PS5, right? We're playing it on my 55-inch.
Yeah.
It's a Samsung Ballin' TV 4K. I went and got the new Samsung 90T 120 hertz, and my daughter looked at me. She's like, "This is a PS5. This is different." It makes a huge difference.
Wait a minute.
Kind of TV.
Wait a minute. You're saying I got a 60 hertz. I should have gotten 120 hertz?
It's 120 hertz. Don't come on, baby. What? See, this is why you're the tech guy, but I'm the knowledge guy. Like I need to be Lisa, I know you can hear the sound of my voice. Allow me to be on Twit After Dark. Everybody's working remotely now. It doesn't matter if I'm across the country. Let me be on Twit After Dark. From 12 o'clock to 1 o'clock, I will give advice on things to buy, life technology, life kids, all kinds of stuff.
Just put me on Twitter. You want to do it? It's yours. You got it.
120 hertz TV for a 120 hertz device. The HDMI cable they gave you is for a 120 hertz device, baby.
All right, I'm going to go online and cancel it. I'm going to buy, if I can find it. I got him a cheap TCL. I probably should have gotten him something fancy.
Just get him a Samsung, okay? You can get him a 60T or a 70T if you feel like you love the kid, which I think you do. You can at least give him a 70T, 120 hertz, okay? That's a 2019 TV. Come on, Uncle Leo. Come on. 120 hertz.
Are you
let your car drive to you.
I think he's trying to cancel it now.
I am. I'm trying to cancel it right now.
Dude. Talk amongst yourselves.
You've done some good, Owen. You've done some good.
Is this it? The QLED Q70T 4K dual LED quantum HDR smart TV with Alexa built in. This one?
Is that the 120 hertz?
I don't know. How am I
read the options, baby?
Yeah. Native refresh rate 120 hertz.
Yeah, the 70T is the one that starts at 120 hertz. Go ahead, get him that bad boy. You know what I mean? Go ahead.
All right.
Get him a 55-inch. You don't want to ball out, Uncle Leo. You know what I mean?
A 55 is big enough. I don't need to get a 65. That'll save me a little.
If you're 120 hertz 55 is better than that TLC ABC crap you're going to get him.
Oh. Can I cancel the other one first?
The remote that TV has Alexa in it. It has the YouTube TV app.
Who talks to their TV? What do you say? Hey, Echo, turn the volume up.
I tell it. I walk through my living room and I say, "Hey, computer, raise the curtains 50%, lock the doors, turn the lights on dim so we could get in that movie theater mode, and make sure my popcorn is ready because I got an Amazon microwave." Okay, Uncle Leo, it's all automated, baby. Come on, man.
Okay.
Where are we living in the future?
Okay, I'm canceling it right now. Wait a minute.
That's right. See.
Michael's I'm gonna make him thank you, and I thank you for your daughter's soap, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
Because your daughter's soap is fantastic.
At least I know you're clean. If you know you're not using your mind, I know you're clean. I know that.
Where can people buy your daughter's soap?
It's Leah.com. We're not going to talk about it today, though, because I got yelled at last time because we wanted a soap show. But this isn't even a tech show today. I don't know what we're doing, Uncle Leo.
I don't know either.
We talked about the electric car.
We talked about everything.
We did. See,
Everything.
Rob, you would be infuriated doing a show with somebody like Leo. You know, they want to buy a car, all the bells and whistles, but they don't want to test any of it out. You know what I mean? It's like buying a Lamborghini and pushing it down the street. Wait, what are we doing? Like,
Yeah, no, it's true. I drive at about 5 miles an hour, and it's really true.
Oh,
I drive the speed limit, which probably hurts somebody like you, Robert.
no, I mean, it's important to drive the speed limit as a human, I guess. You know, it's safe. At least you're not driving. At least you're not driving below the speed limit or at 120 miles an hour, which is, every time I see someone driving like
that makes me
quickly
crazy
on the road.
But I do have to admit, people. I wonder who's buying these Lamborghinis and Ferraris and driving them, you know, in a 25 mile an hour school zone. It seems like seems
most
like
of those
a
people
waste.
it's you know, people are buying those to show off. They drive them around LA. They go to a club.
They keep them in a tax haven at the airport. I know.
Yeah, boom, boom. They rev the engine. Boom. They're not taking them to the track. You should be taking these cars to the track or to the middle of the desert in Nevada where there's no one else around. You should not be driving them at 120 miles an hour on the 405 because you're going to kill somebody and you might kill yourself.
They go out once a month in their little car show buddies and rev it up at the local mall, you know?
Boom. Or they do burnouts and then just land in a ditch.
Yeah.
So many people don't know how to drive a car. That's a whole, don't even get me started on the whole issue that any idiot can buy a car with 500 horsepower because any idiot can end up in a ditch in about 5 minutes.
And let me tell you something. The first time you get in a car, I drove my buddy's Hellcat and he was like, oh, you know, be easy. It's got a little pep. Now I've driven Mustangs and muscle cars and stuff, but they're usually like old cars that are hooked up. I got in that thing and I almost died instantly because I didn't realize that like touching this pedal, I was already at 120 miles an hour. Like, whoa. You know? And thankfully I was on it straight away.
Every car I get into, regardless of whether it's, you know, a Hyundai Sonata.
We should explain, because of your role as car driver, you have a new car to drive almost every week.
Yeah. So I typically have something every week, and it's, you know, like I said, it could be a Hyundai Sonata, good car. It could be, you know, the Ferrari Superfast.
You don't get to choose. It's just like, what's the car of the week?
No, I choose. It's typically I pick, especially now as the sort of freelance. So I pick and choose what I want.
Right.
And then they decide whether or not I deserve it.
Right. No, but if you have, you know, our friend Sama Bulsamid, who's also a car guy, does that too. If you have a good reputation and you write for important journals, they're very good about loaners. You know, it helps. He's in Michigan. But I guess they have stuff out in Northern California too. Yeah,
there's fleet services here. There's, you know, New York, LA, Michigan, I think Miami as well. But the point is, any car I get into, the first time I drive it, I do not get into a Lamborghini and slam on the grass. I drive very slow.
Careful.
I make sure the mirrors. I get the feel of the car.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I do that too. When I get in a rental car. I don't really. Yeah, that's pretty much the only time.
Every car you get into, regardless of how powerful it is or not, get the feel of the car before you decide, like, I'm just going to stomp on the grass. And
if you're Owen, see if you can do a wheelie.
Do a wheelie.
I've driven other fast cars before. It's just that car had so much muscle to it. It just felt different than other. Like I've been, like I said, I've been in muscle cars. I've been in Porsches. I've been in Ferrari. Like I've driven 200 miles an hour, and usually, like you said, you have to work up to that speed. I don't know what's up with those Hellcats. That car just screams at you. Like
you just tap the accelerator.
The Hellcat is essentially a rock with a rocket engine shoved on the back. It is a big, heavy. It's great for going straight and scaring the hell out of your passengers.
And so the biggest thing they never tell you about driving fast in cars is the whole stopping thing, right? So I was on a track and a guy was like, it's like, if you get over 150, you know, there's deers and stuff out here. He's like, don't jam the brakes because you're not going to be able to stop. You just got to keep going. And I'm like, that doesn't
drive through the deer. Is that your advice?
Yeah.
Okay. Drive.
No, not my advice at all. No,
okay.
Again, we're not giving any advice right now.
Don't.
Again, I want to take a break. We're going to come back. I have a couple more stories. I want to ask you guys if you saw the new Justice League, the Zack Snyder, the Rest of Your Life edition, where it's like you're still watching the movie 3 years later. We're going to talk about that. Lots more. We got a great panel. Georgia Dow is here. Anxiety Videos still there, right? Anxiety-videos.com. If you want help with parenting, with sleeping, with anxiety, it's a great source of information, anxiety-videos.com. Her email, which she still gives out to anybody suffering during this difficult time, and I mean the show, is georgia@westmounttherapy.com. georgia@westmounttherapy.com. And you live in a beautiful pink void. It's so perfect.
I know. It's very
so
pink
perfect.
behind
It's
me.
so beautiful. It's
But,
so lovely.
yeah.
Meanwhile, Owen JJ Stone, who's living in a photographer's paradise with his Canon R50 and all that.
Oh, do black box office. That's what my Wi-Fi is.
Did you? So when you just moved?
Yeah, like a month ago. So I'm painting. This room is all black and
Nice.
semi-depressing, but I love it.
And you got special LED lights so you can do strange effects.
You know, I'm going back on the YouTube's, Uncle Leo. I got to get the LEDs and the bokeh. See, people are saying I look kind of soft just because I got this little lens thing on it. Makes me look soft.
You're doing the Vaseline thing. I gotta say though, I just maybe it's just me, but the logo over your right shoulder, I do not think it looks like what you think it looks like, or you think it is. I would reconsider that. It's not immediately obvious.
Do you know what that is?
The girl on the right, the woman I recognize. I don't know what
You don't know what the logo is?
No.
It's,
Well, I
it's
know what it
blurry,
looks
so you
like.
can't tell. This one is Thundercats.
I know what it looks like.
That one's Superman. I'm at a 1.4, so if you were at a 2.8, you'd be
Is
able
that
to see
Superman with long hair?
Okay, well, she's not Superman at all. She'd be Supergirl if that was the case. Like, do you even know what that little thing is? You know
No, it's all right. We're done. I'm moving on. What is that? A robot? What is that? I don't know what he's got.
Black and white.
Oh, see, you know what? This is the problem with bokeh. It's so far back that all it is a blur to me.
That's right. That's all it is. It's a blur. That's Wanda.
That's what my life looks like when I'm not wearing my glasses. Our show today brought to you by Extra. Oh, I forgot Roberto Baldwin. I'm plugging everybody. Automotive and tech journalist. His Twitter is Strange Ways, STRNGWYS, no vowels. And we mentioned it, but I'll mention it again because I know there are lots of people who want to sign up for your next big show. The address is Scum, the band. What is it?
Just go to nascum.com.
nascum.com. nascum.com. And it will take you to where you want to be. Anything else we could plug for you?
I don't know.
You don't have a YouTube channel yet? Your Substack?
I have a horrible podcast that I've been doing.
Okay.
That I started it back up again. And that's just YouTube at STRNGWYS. So.
Okay.
There's some car videos on there.
Oh, good. It's time to start plugging that
podcast.
stuff.
Yeah. I think I'll
probably on Twitter so I can find out all the fun stuff you're doing. You just got to start tweeting it out. Then
there you go. Follow him on the Twitter. Our show today brought to you by Extra Hop. Boy, oh boy, that SolarWinds attack, the sunburst attack, quite a wake-up call, I think, for a lot of sysadmins out there. And then there's the Exchange server. I mean, it's just been a nightmare. Cyber attacks are becoming more advanced, harder to detect. And the real problem, especially with this Exchange server flaw, these 0 days, is you can remediate the exploit, but do you know if the hackers are already in your network, or are they already reading all your email? The most advanced threat actors, the most dangerous ones, are the ones in the environment. They've been there for a long time without our knowledge. The APTs, the advanced persistent threats. When cyber criminals get past your defenses, businesses need a plan for detection. They need a plan for response. The old model is just not enough. The old protection and prevention alone is not enough. They're in there. Well, they might be. And that's why you need Extra Hop Reveal X. It's the only solution that shows you not just where intruders are going, but where they've been. So you can investigate incidents and prevent them from turning into full-blown breaches. When cyber attacks make the news, the first question everybody asks, I know it's what I ask our IT department, is, have we been compromised? But how do you know? Extra Hop Reveal X makes it super simple to answer that question. You get 90 days of record look back, complete network visibility across the data center, cloud, even out to the device edge. so security teams can get the real answers they need in seconds. And in a post-compromise world, your greatest chance of stopping advanced threats is with ExtraHop's network detection and response, their NDR. You know, the faster you respond, the faster you mitigate, the less damage is done. Learn more about how ExtraHop stops breaches 84% faster. And they've got a great interactive demo. I think you're going to enjoy it. It's great eye candy. Extrahop.com/twit. You'll love it. Extrahop.com/twit. We thank them so much for their support of This Week in Tech. Thank you for supporting us by going to that special address, extrahop.com/twit. A lot of people talking about Substack as a scam. Are you thinking, Roberto, as you go to Substack, this might be a chance for you to kind of, as an independent, everybody does it now, right? Casey Newton and Andrew Sullivan, everybody's got Substack newsletters.
And I think that's the issue, is that everyone has one. How many newsletters do you need to sign up for?
Yeah. There's no point. It's diminishing returns, right? I don't want 100 newsletters in my inbox. I'm not going to read them.
Because then you end up with the problem you have with Twitter, where you have a lot of noise with and at some point, especially if you're signing up for the same type of newsletter, if you're signing up for a tech newsletter, they're essentially all going to be the same at some in some instance. I mean, Casey's an amazing writer, so you should totally sign up for whatever Casey is doing.
There is some question
and get that really good view of what's going on in tech, but you really have to sort of pick and choose what you're going to do. And I think what's going to happen is more and more people, as they start creating Substack, and now there's a bunch of copycats. Twitter has one.
Yeah,
Facebook
Review
probably has one.
Yep.
You're going to end up with the same issue that you have now, where you go to a lot of tech sites and the news roll is the exact same thing on every site, and you kind of have to there's signal and noise issue there.
Some real criticism of Substack right now. Anna Lee Newitz, who I know, we interviewed her on a triangulation, is leaving Substack with her newsletter because she says Substack is she calls it a scam. It turns out there's this thing called Substack Pro, which is a group of writers that they essentially pay an upfront sum enough to make it a salary. But what Substack doesn't do is say who it is. And so there is this kind of part of the scam is, there's people making money, but you don't know if they're making money because they have so many subscribers or because Substack is paying them. Substack says, we don't disclose the name of the writers with whom we've done deals because it's their private information, and it's up to them whether they want it publicly known. But it also is an advantage to Substack because it gives people the impression, oh, look at all the people making money, when in fact maybe they're not. There's also a question about who Substack is paying. And there's innuendo about that Substack has a political agenda and is actually paying a certain kind of writer because they're really interested, particularly writers like Glenn Greenwald, who are against trans rights, or ACLU lawyer Chase Strangio, who is directing harassment of a female New York Times reporter. It seems like there is an agenda. Anyway, I just thought I'd bring this up. Annalee's post is very good, and she raises some interesting questions on two different fronts. So nothing to discuss there unless you want to say something about it. Here's a happy story. Go ahead,
okay.
Georgia. Yeah.
Well, no,
I'm sorry. Who is it wants to speak?
Oh, I'm sorry. That's probably
Roberto.
Probably me. I mean, if you're paying, I feel like if there should be some sort of transparency, especially when
if you're paying, you should tell people. Yeah.
If Substack is becoming a media company, then there has to be some sort of transparency, who you're paying, what they're writing, and then allow people to make their judgment on whether or not they want to be part of Substack or they want to subscribe to Substack. If they're not transparent about what's going on their system, then, why would, when I look at these newsletters, because of that, I would not use Substack. I'm not going to create a Substack account. There's some other ones that are out there that maybe they pay better, maybe they pay worse, but ethically, I don't feel compelled to be part of something where, it's so opaque.
There was a great story. I didn't report it because it's kind of geeky, but if you're a gamer, you're probably familiar with how god-awful the load times are on Grand Theft Auto Online. In fact, it could be 15 minutes before you can play, or even longer. And there was a great write-up late last month by a guy who said, "I just been driving me crazy." He said, I picked up Grand Theft Auto again for the first time in 7 years, and I was shocked to discover it still loads just as slowly as ever. He did an amazing thing. Now, remember, this is not an open source game, very much not so. He reverse engineered the source code and profiled it, figured out what was going on, and fixed it. And he actually posted a patch on GitHub that you could apply to your Grand Theft Auto so that he increased the load time by 70%, and it was a dopey mistake that's been sitting there for 7 years. Well, here's the happy ending. The folks at Rockstar, they could have ignored him or yelled at him. They thanked him, and they have actually paid him $10,000 for a bug bounty, and they're going to fix it after 7 years. The official patch is live as of March 16th. The players are reporting huge improvements. Pretty cool. Toaster CX. Maybe they should have paid him a little more than $10,000, but I think he's happy just to get anything.
$10,000 is a lot. I
It's
remember
good money.
I was reading an article last month about a CEO laid off 1,000 people and they gave everybody a $250 gift card.
Oh,
He still
my
got
God.
$200 million bonus. He literally could have gave every single person a $10 million and still got $10 million himself. That's $10 million is a lot. I was like, but you could have gave him like $100,000 and still made your $100 million bonus. But so the fact that they gave this guy 10 grand is great because companies usually just give you an attaboy and a gift card for some free loot on the game and say, go on about your day.
Well, and think about it. One of the reasons he got a $100 million bonus is because he's a cheapskate and saved the company a lot of money by giving out $250 gift cards, right?
Yep, exactly.
That's what they reward you for.
Yes.
Let's see. Is there anything else that I have missed that you guys wanted to talk about? I thought we talked about a lot of the things, a lot of fun things. Roberto, is there any car news that you think we should be thinking about?
Oh, gosh.
You reported on the Car and Driver, the story that we talked about, I think, on Wednesday, that the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration is getting chewed out by the NTSB, which they're both federal agencies, but the NTSB, which investigates crashes, is telling the TSA, which regulates self-driving, you guys should do a better job regulating self-driving.
No, this is a long time sort of, I guess, clash within these government agencies. I went to an NTSB hearing back in January of 2020, and they spent half the hearing sort of chewing out NHTSA, the NHTSA.
That's a lot easier to say. NHTSA. That's what I'll say.
They spent most of the time chewing out NHTSA because they're saying it's not NHTSA's job to sell cars, and it feels like NHTSA is like, as I say, they don't want to stymie the development of autonomous and driver assistance features, but there's no baseline. There's nothing to say whether or not this works well, this doesn't work well, and without that, your average consumer doesn't know the difference between how well maybe Mercedes-Benz adaptive cruise control works versus how well maybe Hyundai's adaptive cruise control system works.
Right.
Like they're two, they might be wildly different.
Yeah, apparently mine is no better than a 1995 Honda's. So I wish I'd known that. Owen.
But yeah, there's NHTSA could create a system that judges these, that ranks them, that gives consumers the option to see how well those systems work. Because if that's a very important feature for you, you should know how well it works compared to the rest of the rest of the market. But also, they've sort of just allowed autonomous vehicles to just go be tested on the road with other drivers. It's like the guy doing 150 miles an hour in his Lamborghini, except now you see videos of people just driving around with their Teslas, going over lines, not stopping at stoplights. It's sort of insane that it's NHTSA's job to regulate this, and they've decided to have a very hands-off approach.
Yeah.
And the NTSB is not happy about it.
Yeah. I think that's right, actually. Is there any indication from NHTSA that maybe they will start to do that?
Maybe. I think it's a new administration, but it's not like this was something that was part of the Trump administration. This is,
forever has been going on.
Forever. NHTSA's sort of been hands off because and I think they were sort of sold on the tech world's, promise of a better world. We're making the world better. We're changing the world. And then, the unintended consequences of that is, all the insanity we see on Twitter, all the insanity we see on Facebook. So the unintended consequences of allowing these automakers, and Tesla is sort of the prime example, to just beta test autonomous features on the road. And they tell people, you have to keep your hands on the wheel and you have to keep your eyes on the road. But at the same time, you call it autopilot, you call it full self-driving. Like what is, there's marketing and then there's reality, and most people are listening to marketing.
Fascinating story in the Apple world. You might note that we have been hearing rumors Apple would have an event this Tuesday, but no invitations have gone out. No word has gone out. A number of leakers said, March 23rd, including John Prosser. Now John is saying in his latest video, Apple punked him and others. They used a control leak, putting out that March 23rd date to the sources in Apple to catch them, to out the leakers. Georgia,
they've been doing that forever.
Yeah, they're famous for that. We were talking about that when Steve Jobs was at Apple. He intentionally made up a fake project, told a number of groups just to see who would leak it. Looks like they're doing it again. So a number of leakers who said there would be an event March 23rd, this Tuesday. We were all prepared to do it. I guess there's not going to be an event, and it was all an attempt.
Last time they did an event in the first quarter of the year?
Oh, I think they usually do in the spring.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like an iPad event.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. I guess the stuff that I don't care about.
Yeah, in fact, it would be stuff you don't care about. It'd be Apple's AirTags, which have been rumored for a year and still haven't come out.
Still hoping. I'm still hoping.
Yeah. Still want it. A new iPad Pro, which we're kind of due for with this new mini LED screen we all want to see, because Apple's going to go mini LED across this whole product line, we think. And perhaps a new Apple TV. But you're right. Maybe it won't be in March. Maybe it'll be in April, and maybe who cares?
Oh, and side note, because a couple of people in the chat asked from the beginning of the show.
Yeah.
This thing is a little.
It's a hard drive.
Attached.
Yeah. I've seen those before.
USB ports and all that kind of stuff. So I had 2 terabyte drive. That way I could cheap out and not spend all the monmoney on hard drive for this thing.
No, I've used those on Mac Minis before. I think it's a great little product. Yeah.
I love that John, though, because he was wrong. He's going to have to shave off his eyebrows, and he's going to go through with it.
He's going to do it?
I think he's going to do it. I don't think that he has a choice, but I you know what? Like, live by the sword, die by the sword. I think that's like, he said he was going to do it. Good for him for doing it.
So 2 things then: never go to a second location, and do not promise to shave your eyebrows. This is the tweet.
Unless you really listen.
And this is an example.
Aren't you going to watch it? Wouldn't you watch?
Yeah.
Wouldn't you watch?
Yeah.
Let's just say it. We have the raccoon being played in the middle of, the band. And then we have the shaving off of the eyebrow. We want that. We are so bored.
He's on the record. He said it on Twitter. That means it will always be there forever.
Legally binding.
Is a legally binding contract.
Renee just tweeted, just messaged me. He will be doing it on Tuesday, and he will be giving the proceeds to charity. Look at that. Turning something.
Do you know how creepy you look without eyebrows?
It's really bad. It's
like
really bad. You don't look great. You don't look.
So first of all, I haven't covered Apple in about 5 years. I used to work at Mac Life. I ran their website. I covered Apple for Wired. I covered Apple for Engadget, Gizmodo, a bunch of companies. What the hell's happened in the last 5 years? We're like, well, if this doesn't happen, we're shaving our eyebrows off.
Well, you don't need to do that. By the way, he's going to donate donate the money he raises from that episode, and presumably the hair from his eyebrows, to Wigs for Kids, a charity that gives custom wigs to children who've lost their hair due to illness, treatments, or burns. So it's a good cause. I don't know if the eyebrow. I did shave my head off for UNICEF. And I will never do it again.
Did you lose a bet, or had you just did that because you thought that was going to be a good charity?
Yeah. Do you remember
wanted
that
to do some good?
we used to do marathons on New Year's Eve? We would do New Year's around the world. So we'd start with the first New Year's, and which is about 3 a.m. on New Year's Eve, and then we would do the last one was about 3 a.m. New Year's Day, and we'd be there for the whole 24 hours. The second one we did, we decided to do it for charity. So to raise money for UNICEF. I think we raised more than $80,000 or $90,000. I don't remember the full amount. But I said, foolishly, if we get, if we get to 25,000, I'll get a tattoo. And then I doubled down. See, this is why I know John Prosser. I didn't even say it on Twitter. If we get to 55, I think I said I'll shave my head. So both happened on.
You got a tattoo?
On New Year's Eve. There's video of it if you really care.
Well, can't someone cue that up? I want to see.
No, you don't. No, you don't.
Is it Donald Duck smoking a cigar? Or what is this
exactly.
tattoo?
Yeah. It's okay. What do you want? Never go to a second location. But we raised money, and it was for UNICEF. So you know what, John? That's great. The problem, and Lisa will never forgive me for this, it was a month before Lisa and I got married. I am bald in all our wedding pictures. It's horrible.
No, you're kidding.
Can you hold off till afterwards?
It was so horrible. I wish I had. I just wasn't thinking.
Did you say this on like a whim without asking her?
She came screaming out of her office. It was about 3 a.m. She came screaming out of her office.
Oh no!
But it was too late. I said it.
You'd already said it, but you couldn't say that we'll do it in a month.
I didn't tweet it. I should have. I should have used that as a loophole.
Yeah, you didn't tweet it, so it's not legally.
You could have said, "I'll do it. I'll do it though after my wedding." So now we have to see all these
the
wedding
worst
photos.
wedding pictures.
Oh, I love this.
Uncle
this
Leo,
is like one of those moments where you're like, "Yeah, be careful." You see, don't text, don't talk, don't right. Make sure you're calm and in a good state. It was probably sleep deprivation.
For your 10-year anniversary, Uncle Leo, what we're going to do for you is I'm going to get all your wedding pictures, and we're going to go to Fiverr. We're going to get the best Photoshop artists available.
That would be so good.
Put a luxurious mane back on top of you. It might even do it before a 10-year anniversary, but Lisa deserves you looking proper for her. She deserves this, Uncle Leo. We got to Photoshop it. We might even give you afro in one of them. You know what I mean? And we'll get me one.
It's kind of a dumb thing to agree to, I have to admit.
In the moment.
Hey, that's the rationale. I did it for UNICEF. I did it for the children.
You did it
and
for
you
the kids.
just were in the moment and said, "Listen, if we get this many people, I'll do this." And then you went, and guess what?
You want to see it? You want to see a terrible picture?
Yeah. Yes.
I do not have a good head shape. I do not have a good head shape. I'm just saying.
She looks a little bit angry. Lisa looks a little bit angry. She's like, I can't believe.
She's looking at that head. She said the real problem was I look like her Uncle Bob.
Or Alfred Hitchcock.
Poor
You look like Alfred Hitchcock.
It's a little Hitchcocky, isn't it? That is the worst.
Profile.
So embarrassed.
She looks beautiful, though.
She looks
great. Beautiful. She looks beautiful.
She'd look good even if she shaved her head. She'd look gorgeous.
We're about to just Photoshop 2 Lisas face to face and just fix that.
Just fix it.
We're going to mirror Lisa doubled up in it.
It's depressing as hell.
2 things before we get out of here.
Yes, sir.
The PS5's new VR set looks great.
What do you think? Are you going to get that? Should I get that?
Yes, you should. I'm definitely getting it. I waited because I didn't get it for the PS4 because I was waiting for the PS5. So now those controllers look sexy. And they're black.
But then it doesn't matter if you have a 120 hertz TV. You're wearing visors.
But you better buy that boy that TV. It will matter because you're not going to be in VR life the whole time.
Just tell me, does it make that much of a difference?
Look, I'm telling you, my daughter looked at me when we put in that new TV and she said, "This is PS5. Like, I've been playing it on a nice TV, like a big TV, like a good TV, but it looks that much better on 120 hertz. It just does.
I asked Amazon. I already did it. I asked Amazon to cancel the other one, and I ordered the Q thing you said to order.
And then, see, look. And then also on top of that, Mark Zuckerberg upset all the time. He don't like what Apple's doing.
So I'm listening. So Mark Zuckerberg was in Clubhouse along with a bunch of people. It's like a big deal. And I noticed it, and I went in there, and I started listening. I should have recorded it or something because apparently it was huge news. I got so bored, I just left. It's like, ugh, this is boring. And then it's like news everywhere. Mark Zuckerberg criticizes Apple on Clubhouse. He was there with Daniel Ek, the CEO of Spotify. And I stopped listening because I was bored. What do I know?
No, Clubhouse is weird. Like I
don't like it.
I love
I can't.
rambling and talking, and people keep asking me to come into it.
No.
And it's either like you're trying to sell me cat food for a dog in your marketing book program that you just started with your sister 4 weeks ago, or you're telling me that you're some guru when you're just regurgitating press releases of stuff that
this one in particular sounded like this. You know, when awkward nerds get together like at a dance and they're trying to make conversation, but they're not very good at it. And it's just kind of really low energy and flat. This is exactly what that was. I felt like I was at a high school dance with a bunch of awkward nerds.
A lot of those rooms
I've done Clubhouse, and I've had some really great experiences of like really dynamic people that are, again, big YouTubers and dealing. And it was actually kind of fun and nice. And it was like being on like a call with a whole bunch of other people talking about, you know, what they're passionate about. And so I've actually had a good experience.
Okay, you got to tell me when you're going to be in Clubhouse, and I will go over there. I'm going to follow you. I'm going to follow you because I need to be where you go.
You wouldn't like it anyway. You know, your TikTok algorithm wouldn't be where she's at. You're not going to be in the same boat as a lovely, vivacious Canadian. You're not going to be in the same boat.
We have a good room for you, Leo.
Your algorithm is not going to match. It's not going to vibe.
No, George is not in there. Of course not. Georgia Dow, we love you. It's great to see you. I'm glad things are going. You do well. You do a YouTube now with Renee Ritchie called Apple Talk. You have your own channel, which is growing fast. YouTube.com/Georgia Dow.
Not really growing that fast, but
well, let's make it grow fast.
It'll pick up slowly.
How long have you been doing it?
I think it's been a month, or it's been about a month. Yeah, I think it's around a month, about 4 weeks or so. So
she looks like you're getting advice from Galadriel, the Elvish queen.
Right. Every single shirt is more. I get to now buy. I'm like, I have to wear different shirts, so they're all as elfish as I can get away with. For
they're
sure.
Cute. I really like them.
Send me other ideas. You have great shirt ideas. Send them to me.
Yeah.
But it's kind of fun. I'm doing reaction videos and then psychology videos.
So what are you reacting to?
So I react to, I've done therapy scenes. I've done the stages of grief in WandaVision. I did The Winter Soldier, Sopranos, Curb Your Enthusiasm. I don't know if that's out yet. And I'm thinking, and you guys tweet me ideas, but I'm thinking of doing the Merkel interview, and I will react to it.
So you
kind of go through.
So you're watching WandaVision, and then it shows your reaction to, and you don't get taken down for that?
Nope.
Jeez,
no,
if I did that, I'd get taken down so fast.
You have to, like, little tiny.
I know it's fair use, but doesn't stop them. I don't even want to play your video of them because they'll take me down.
Yeah, it's kind of fun. I have to say, it's a fun thing to be able to go through and take what is the psychology of what's happening.
I do like that. A therapist reacts to WandaVision. Yeah. And you're talking in this one about the stages of grief because this is the episode of no spoilers, but Wanda's going through some grief. And you're talking about what she's going through.
Yeah,
that's cool.
And they show the 5 stages of grief. So
do they?
I think what is a fun, they do, like pretty straightforward and actually directly linearly, which is not really the way that the stages
that's really
of grief work. But I was thinking about this same thing with panic attacks and Iron Man. Like, I don't know, make it a little bit more fun, psychology and,
YouTube.com/Georgia Dow. It sounds like a great idea. I like it. I love it. Mr. Owen JJ Stone, what would you like to tell people about? Of course, IQMZ.com is where you make your home on the internet.
You know you got to go to Rob next and then to me last. These are the rules.
Oh, I forgot. He's setting up. I forgot. Owen ends the show. I completely forgot. So, Owen, we'll go back to you in just a minute for your rant of the week. But first, thank you so much, Rob. It's great to see Roberto Baldwin back on our channel. Please don't be a stranger. I think you actually called somebody and said, "Why haven't you had me on?" And that makes me feel even worse.
Folks had some folks from Twit had reached out to me, and I was just so busy with
I think
Car
that
Driver, and
yeah, because we've always loved having you on. I think that was what happened was you were too busy.
Yeah, I'll just talk. You know, it was a weird situation that it doesn't. Well, anyway, here I am now. Yeah,
perfect. So now we'll get you back soon, I hope. And I do want to know what's going on with you. Of course, the best way to do that, follow him on Twitter, STRNGWYS, Strange Ways without the vowels. Is that a James Bond reference?
It is a Smiths reference from their last album, Strange Ways, Here We Come, which was a prison in the
That's
UK.
right.
I think it might still be a prison.
You had a Smiths cover band.
No.
Okay.
I do not have a Smiths cover. I can't.
Okay. Was a guess.
No, I have friends that are in a Smiths cover band, and they're very good. This charming band, you should go when all this stops. You know, when we're allowed to go outside and see people inside, you should go see this charming.
I can't wait. I cannot wait to see live music again. Your show, I'm going to make it a date. Your show in August in San Francisco will be my first.
August. As soon as I get the go ahead to say yes, I will tweet about it. I'll put it on the Facebook.
We want to make sure San Francisco will be open by then, and it'll be allowed to have concerts.
Yeah. The club, Rickshaw Stop, amazing club. They want to make sure everything's safe. They're a great bunch of people that run that place, and they want to make sure that we do it in a safe and responsible way. And then once we've said we can do it, then we'll be very irresponsible, jumping around on stage and singing very loud.
Lisa and I can't wait. Oh, I know exactly where it is. It's on Fell Street. I know where that is. Yeah. Used to live on Page Street.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, in the Haight, up the road a piece. Ladies and gentlemen, we do Twit every Sunday afternoon, 2:30 Pacific, 5:30 Eastern, 21:30 UTC. You can watch the live production. In this case, you missed an hour and a half of great content before the show even started. That's why it's good to tune in live. Twit.tv/live is the live audio and video feed. If you're watching live, chat with us live at irc.twit.tv. On-demand versions of everything we do at Twit available at our website, twit.tv. Every show has its own YouTube channel, so does This Week in Tech. And, of course, the best thing to do is subscribe in your favorite podcast application. Do two things. Subscribe to the show. That way you'll get it automatically the minute it's available. And leave a review. Let other people know what they're missing if they're not listening to This Week in Tech. And now, ladies and gentlemen, to close out our show, the Right Reverend Owen JJ Stone.
First things first, make sure you go to Twit and follow Hands On Photography, because Ant is killing in these streets. And I have lovely photography gear for one day when he allows me to be on the show, even though he's mad at me for not using most of my technology. But it's a great show.
He's not mad at you. He loves you. And I agree. It's a great show.
If you read the tweets, he's yelling at me all the time. But, if you are a photographer, which every single person listening to this, because you got a phone in your pocket, you're a photographer, you should check it out. Secondly, Lisa, I was not joking. We are doing Twit After Dark. Come and get me. I'm here waiting for you. Don't talk to Leo. He's not right. I know who's captain.
You know who launches shows here. It ain't me.
I know exactly who I'm talking to, Lisa. You know what I'm saying? Twit After Dark. Let's get that done. Thirdly, Georgia on record for public consumption. At some point, one day in the future, near or far, we are going to be doing a show together. It's going to be so much fun. You should follow one of us on Twitter and then tell that other one that we should do the show sooner. Don't bother her too much because she's super busy, but just tell her how much you would love a show between her and I. It'd be Starsky and Hutch. The banter will be amazing. So just bother her about that randomly. I appreciate you. And
it's funny because the chat room was already doing that, by the way.
I know. I'm egging them on. I want more of this. I like what the chat room is doing, and I'm pushing them forward. And lastly, I haven't been on the show since before Christmas. I think they forgot about me. I'm in a black room. I don't know. I can't be seen. But if you've made it so far this year and you still are paying your car note and you're still paying your bills and your kids are still fed, give yourself a pat on the back. It has been a rough 12 months for every single person on the planet. So know that you're not alone. Know that everybody else, except for Jeff Bezos, is going through the same kind of crap that you are. So give yourself a pat on the back for going through it. And if you know anybody with kids or your kids, make sure you show them articles like we were talking about earlier to keep them on the straight and narrow on the internet. If you don't have kids and you're an uncle or an aunt, that is your job and responsibility to show them those articles and keep these kids in line and give them the help that they desperately deserve and need that they're not getting from schools. I'm your boy, Owen JJ Stone, a.k.a. O Doctor, and another Twit is in the K.
And whatever you do, never go to that second location.
Doing the Twit.
Zack Snyder, the Zack Snyder twit recut.
Everything's that whole movie, like three hours of that movie is slow-mo.
That's why it's so long. Yeah. I loved it. I have to say, I did not.
Did you watch all of it?
Well, in several sittings. Lisa and I watched it.
I watched it all in one sitting. I'm a DC nerd, and I loved it because you know what?
Really?
People, conversations, explanations. Okay, Whedon just had cut scenes and jump scenes and people wearing.
It got panned the first time. I didn't see the first one.
I saw the first one.
People didn't like the first Justice League.
I watched the first one. I typically watch before everything that's happening right now. I used to fly a lot for my job,
right?
And I would hold bad movies for planes,
right?
So I'm like, well, I don't want to waste my
exactly
regular ground-based life on bad movies. So I watched the Justice League on a plane, and it was And then I watched the other one today, and I don't want to yuck your yum, so I'll be quiet.
Did you think it was worse than the original or better?
I don't think it was worse than the original. I just don't think either of them are very good movies. Okay, so I'm gonna back up a little bit.
No. I harsh people's mellow all the time.
I'm a film student, and I originally wanted to be a screenwriter, and I get so angry at so many things in movies that have to do with bad writing.
I want to hear this because that's good. I am not a comic book movie. I hate comic books, and I hate the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I tried to watch WandaVision. It's not for me because, like you, Owen, I believe there's really only two superheroes. There's Batman and there's Superman. Everything else is a cheesy clone.
I love all superheroes. My thing is that it's a cartoon. It's a comic book realized. And so when people act like it's not Shawshank Redemption, and it's never going to be. Like, I don't care how much you love Iron Man, it's still not like the greatest film on earth.
See, I like Zack Snyder because I like 300 a lot. I thought 300 was great.
I don't go into these movies thinking that I'm going to come out with a 12-pack. Okay, I go in to see people kick things and jump off things and laser beam things. And if I get that with some kind of story,
Henry Cavill, quite the 12-pack.
He's okay. He's acceptable.
Holy cow! Do you think that was real, Georgia? That was completely
didn't they
fake.
like take
that was
like
not
his
real.
That was like
a
CGI
mustache.
Really, he had a mustache.
And
they just took it off.
He's already quite well built. So, talk about what kind of standards we're putting men under now.
There's at one point they're standing in a cornfield, and Amy Adams is just lovingly touching his chest, and I'm thinking, she's getting a lady boner right now. That's pretty special right there. What she's got.
I'd do
it. I'd do them.
The standing in the corn. I love explosions and whatnot. I just don't like bad writing, and I feel like there's a lot of
So what was the most? So you
never learned how to read.
I agree with you with bad writing. Like sometimes you'll hear a line and it's like, by the way, I'll give you an example. Everybody loves The Five Bloods, the new Spike Lee, and I'm a Spike Lee fan. That is the worst written movie. He's got these great actors, and it sounds wooden because the writing isn't very good.
Oh,
do you agree? Have you seen it
yet? I haven't seen it yet.
Okay, again, I want to harsh your mellow. You should watch it and then have your own
I'll watch. You know what? I watched the Justice League. I've watched all the Zack Snyder movies. I give him a chance every time.
So I don't know.
I watch Rocky. I don't know why we're talking about movies.
Because he's
I'm sorry.
Former
No, not him. I'm talking about you, Leo.
Okay, you want to know what I like?
You haven't watched Rocky?
I've seen it now.
Okay.
But I know.
How many of them?
No, just I saw part of the first one and that was enough.
That doesn't even count. You didn't even watch it.